Earth is very flat.
What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, March 11th, 2021. I'm Brandon, host of Brandon Show. Hope everybody is doing good out there. And let's see who's out there. Let's just get right into it. YouTube, what's up, YouTube? Bob Skaggs, Flat for Life. What's up, Flat for Life? Earth LARP Dumpster Fire. David Reed, Gadget Inspector, page 42. Ian Adams, and Smurfer Girl Whatevs. What's up, guys? Hope everybody is doing good. It's the weather's still nice up here. 10 days till spring. Oh yeah, starting to feel like spring big time. Love it. If you want to support the show during today's show, I almost said broadcast, but that sounds too official. This is not really a broadcast. There's the link for the Streamlabs, which cuts Google out of the middle and is much appreciated. And you can put any comment you want in there and it'll pop up on screen. So that's pretty cool. Any support is appreciated. Thank you very much to those of you who do support the show, including my channel members. Thank you very much. Anyway, what do we got going on today? There was a video that came out from Level Earth Observer, and it had this piece of footage from a balloon launch that was back in the 60s, I think, 62. And there's a bit of footage at the end of it that I've been looking for a while. I was just looking for it last week for like 2 hours because it is the fakest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. So I think we'll take a look at that and try to decide why it looks so fake. And see if we can get to the bottom of that one. So look forward to that. It's been a couple days since we looked at any NASA fakery. We'll be debating, quotation marks, Fight the Flat Earth on Saturday. I believe it's going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 4 p.m. For those of you in the UK. So that should be interesting. I don't think I've ever talked to him before. No idea where that'll go, but it's going to be one-on-one, and it'll be broadcast on this channel. Now I've used the word again anyway. Yeah, so look for that. I'll set up a notice. So 11 a.m., 4 p.m. In the UK on this channel, Fight the Flat Earth. We'll see how that goes. I had debated with myself whether I wanted to do that or not, but why the fuck not? I don't care. Just gonna go talk to him, so who cares? But anyway, hopefully that'll be interesting. And he wants to talk about some things I've said about space fakery. So I'm guessing he's going to want me to answer for some of the clowning that we've done on NASA, which I'm more than happy to do. I'm perfectly fine with that. And we're also going to talk about some other things, I'm sure. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, we've got some people in Discord, and they're lighting up. So why don't we get in there and see what's going on?
And then we ever discover, and when we ever.
I see. Yeah, but it doesn't go that far, does it? Right? If it's at the equator, because you have more South America below the equator. I mean, I understand what you're saying conceptually, but to me, I don't think the bulge. I don't think the bulge actually covers that many latitude lines, does it? It's only like what, 14 miles? It's supposed to be 14 miles high at the equator, right? There's a 14 mile. Well, I don't remember how they say it, but high bulge.
I thought it was like 40.
Holy shit! Congratulations, Bill G. That's freaking awesome. Twins on the way. Congratulations, man. That is really cool.
Possible.
Yeah, if we ever find out, oh, it doesn't match a globe, they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, we told you it was a little bit chunky.
Right. Yeah.
They left themselves an out. Right. They left themselves an out with that.
You know, I think hey, what's up, guys? I think it was Phil the other day when we were talking about White's words test, said something along the lines of, and if it shows a globe, if you have downward pressure, then all you've done is prove that at that location, the Earth is flat. And they're like, well, yeah, I guess that's kind of the point. It'd have to be repeated, but...
Yeah, but see, the problem with that, or not the problem, the solution for that is the same thing as the 600 square miles in the ocean, right? For 600 square miles, it's flat. Well, fucking overlay the 600 miles and it's never going to curve, bitch.
Yeah, right?
You can't have 600 miles of flat and then go another 600 miles and then start curving because everywhere is 600 miles from the previous point.
And 600 miles is a long-ass way. There's a lot of curve in 600 miles.
Shit, yeah. But listen, it's the same thing as whoever did that wordplay trick the other night. Was it James, I think it was, right? You got three guys that go... You got 3 guys that go in and pay $10 for the motel room, and then it's all just you get lost in the details, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just that they just spell you.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, 20 by 20 square miles is your 600, right?
Say that again,
Pretty
Jimbo.
close. 20 square miles by 20 square miles, 360 round. When you're at sea, that gives you your horizon and your, you know, stars.
I'm not sure I follow on that one.
Well, the 360 is all around you, right?
Yeah.
180, 360.
Yeah.
And your forward view, you know, is 20 miles.
Oh, the limit that you can see is roughly 20 miles at sea.
Yeah, that gives you, you know, 600 square miles around any point. Like you can be on a ship and all around you is 1,000 square miles, basically, that you can see.
Okay. I have to. I'd have
your
to. I'm trusting your
triangulation
math
off
at this
the-
point, but you're saying that's 600 square miles is 20 miles all around you?
20 by 20, 400. Well, a little more than 20 by 20, but still, it's 1,000 square miles, more or less, roughing the math.
Oh, okay.
And it's very easily visible from, well, hillsides, from center of the ocean, whatever, you know, it's your vantage point. It's always a POV, right? I'm blurting.
That's all right. I just did the math on the 600 miles, and if you went 600 miles, it would be 44 miles of curvature drop. 44 miles of drop. So that's not insignificant. That'd be 11 miles Sagittarius. If you're considering that flat, I don't know what are you not considering flat? If you can treat that as flat, 11-mile hump in the middle, then what the fuck? Where's the curvature?
Yeah, something's either flat or it's not. Like something's either straight or it's not. There's not these curving flats and curving straights. That's fucking nonsense. How is something flat and it's curving?
Right.
Does that make logical sense to anyone? These guys are fucking delusional.
No, it doesn't.
Well, one of the top snipers, 33 kills, he loves Texas because it's flat.
Yeah,
you know?
like flat, real flat.
Yeah, these marksmen and 2-mile snipers and stuff, they hit targets without calculating Coriolis or, you know, warping space-time or anything. They're 2-mile and plus shots, you know, just point.
I read something today. I'm going to have to try to see if I can remember where it was. I don't know. But the statement about Coriolis, what was it? I think I was just looking up stuff on refraction and just trying to see what it was out there. And they were talking about Coriolis being stronger at the surface and having more effect on the ray curvature. And then as you move away from the Earth, Coriolis lessens.
Huh?
I was like,
What the fuck?
I know, right? Huh?
Ray curvature got thrown in there?
Yeah, because I was reading on refraction. So I was looking up stuff on refraction, but it was either in the abstract or, you know, something else. But it was just a quick walkthrough. He didn't spend a lot of time on it, but he mentioned Coriolis being stronger at the surface of the Earth. Implication meaning when you get up higher, you get less Coriolis. And there's, I don't know, whatever.
I've actually seen Kosho do math for the Coriolis of light rays.
What?
Whatever.
So you got to take that into consideration, Travis.
Light.
Oh, do I?
Coriolis for
Oh,
light.
do I?
Wow. That's like
Yeah.
really, really deep in it right there.
This is where you need to cue in the music with SE singing La La Land.
La La Land,
Yeah.
right?
No shit. You know, that might have something to do with this, because I was talking to Blue and he put out a video a while back on Coriolis, when we were hitting him hard on Coriolis a few months back. And he was talking about how the Coriolis is calculated because you're moving sideways, so it feels like you're moving in the other direction. It throws off your moment of inertia.
Equilibrium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that only happens when you're in a car. I never feel that any time else. Like if I'm on the earth, I never feel those effects. It's only when you're in a car and you see something move and you're not moving and you get that little vertigo.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If I'm understanding it.
When you're looking at a roundabout
they're
or
defining
something,
Coriolis and calculating it somehow to do with gravity.
Yeah, but that all you're doing in that instance is just making up a symbol to incorporate into an equation. You can make an equation do anything you want.
Oh yeah.
So if you have an equation for gravity or whatever, and you want to incorporate Coriolis, which I don't know, it's just whatever.
Yeah, no, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
We can't find any evidence of Coriolis. That's what I concluded after looking into it for a very long time and talking to these guys. Is just like the plane flight, that there's no evidence of them having to make any kind of adjustment for curvature or rotation. There's no evidence that you can point to that says, look at the Coriolis. Yes,
Well, have you heard
and then
the
they'll play
clip?
that game where the Coriolis is a real thing and then start explaining about the fucking merry-go-round for the 1,000th time. It's like, shut the fuck up. We know Coriolis is a real thing. We want to see evidence that there's actual Earth-based Coriolis.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's I've said it from the beginning. Coriolis only exists on a merry-go-round.
Yeah.
I love the merry-go-round. I've heard George say, have you heard the QE's numpty clip? We got George on tape saying the Earth rotates under the bullet and the Earth doesn't rotate under the bullet, back to back.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
They don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know what they're talking about. They're just making shit up as they go. I've been telling you guys this since day one.
No.
You were right, Jerry.
Yes, Jeremy. Good call.
All right.
Excuse me. Yeah, so our little talk about the plane flight the other night got them all excited. You guys notice Effie Dogma and Wolfie's been commenting in the chat. I swear to God, it's like a dog whistle. You say the word planes, and he pops up in the chat.
Well, they're both wrong. They're both wrong. If you travel a mile and you drop 8 inches, you're at the elevation you started at. And you're at the new point. So you go another mile, you drop another 8 inches. Now you're still at the same elevation.
Right.
And the globe model, I'm not saying that actually happens, but on the globe model, that's what would happen, right?
No, I get it. Yeah. So for every mile, as long as you're making the correction for 8 inches in theory, then you just do that every mile. I thought Rumpus was right in a sense when he mentioned that, because I do feel, after thinking about it for a couple of days, that it is misleading to give that big number. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on that, but because you don't fly off into space, you don't fly in a straight line, and then you wouldn't, if the Earth was a globe, you wouldn't fly off in a straight line and then nosedive down to the Earth. It'd be little small adjustments constantly. So whatever, it is what it is. James Richard, $5. Thank you, James. How is it a sphere can have properties of flatness, but flatness cannot have properties of a sphere? Please answer. That is a good question, actually. I like that question.
What is the question?
He says, how is it a sphere can have properties of flatness, but flatness cannot have properties of a sphere. And this is one of the things that I always think about when we have the argument about refraction. And we say, no, this can happen on a flat plane. The light is bending, and that's why you're missing the bottom of stuff, yada, yada. We always say, you get these phenomena on a flat plane, and they say, no, it's impossible. It can't happen on a flat plane. But everything that would lead you to believe observationally that you are on a flat plane is built into their globe model.
Yeah.
But then they turn around and say, the opposite couldn't be true. We'd be flat, but these phenomena that would lead you to believe that you're on a globe are impossible on a flat plane.
Oh yeah, you can't even have a horizon on a flat plane. Come on.
Right. And I think we've destroyed that one, thanks to the hard work of all the people who have been out there doing firsthand observations, Travis and Ranty and everybody.
Well,
Shout out
I
to
mean,
You can
Hey.
destroy that one by loading up Minecraft and watching there be a horizon on a perfectly flat plane.
Yeah, this idea that
Yeah,
there
when
wouldn't be a
Travis-
horizon on a flat plane is fucking ludicrous.
yeah, when Travis was talking to Paid NASA Show the other night, and Paid NASA Show was trying to say that a geometric horizon is the antecedent. It's not. All you need is Earth and sky, or water and sky. That's all you need. You don't need an actual curve. You just need Earth and sky, and will meet anywhere on a flat plane, whatever. There's your horizon.
Another interesting thing to me is that, I've commented before that this whole reality is it's like it's intentionally designed to deceive us, and all your senses are lying to you. You just have to believe the maths. But even funnier than that is that the roundness of the globe, everything that's built into it that deceives us makes it look flat. It doesn't make it look wavy, it doesn't make it look concave or angular in any way. It just turns the globe into a flat. It doesn't deceive us in any other direction, if you know what I'm saying. It's always just a flat.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? It deceives us into thinking we're stationary. It deceives us into thinking we're on a flat plane.
Yeah, that too.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't deceive us into thinking we're changing directions or doing anything other than being flat and stationary. That's where all the deception lay, to make us think it's flat and stationary, not in any other direction. This random weirdness that isn't what it actually is. It all just makes it look flat and stationary.
Before
What direction were you
I
expecting?
joined any of the Flat Earth community, I made 3 parody videos, and the first one was just what you just pointed out, Brandon, that the Earth presents itself to us in a way. And so I ended my video with, we're spinning because you can't feel the spin.
What would you expect to feel?
I'm not talking to a troll.
Motion. I would expect to feel motion due
That's
to
fair
our
enough.
vestibular.
You're
due
a
to our
troll, bro.
Due to our vestibular thing in our ear, I would expect to feel motion.
You expect to feel acceleration. You don't sense motion.
Do you
sense
need
acceleration,
a
right?
citation for
Acceleration,
how you-
Ruhif, yes.
Acceleration, yeah. So
doesn't-
just
it
want to check.
doesn't
Movement with a
specify-
change of
It doesn't
direction.
specify acceleration.
Movement with a change of direction, yes.
Oh, is that Jeremy? Is it, or who is it?
Yeah, it's Jeremy.
Yeah, right. So
Do
you are
need
you
a
saying that
citation
you?
for that? Hold on. Go ahead, speak amongst
Not interested in
yourselves. I'm getting a
citations.
citation.
It's the
I'm
same
asking you a
thing.
question.
Yeah, Ruhi, I think he's busy real quick. It's the same thing, Ruhif. If
What is?
you talk to someone who's never had a concept of the globe and you explain the globe to them, I think that they would have at least 3 questions. Why doesn't the water fall off? How are people staying upside down? And why can't I feel the spin? You know why they fucking ask those questions? Because we
Because they're
know...
6 years old.
No. Listen to what I said. I didn't say you talked to
No,
a
I heard you.
6-year-old. Okay, listen.
It sounds like you did.
Okay, Ruhif.
Okay, Travis.
Even if you had,
Kick your ass.
even if you had a 6-year-old, the 6-year-old knows enough about physics to ask those questions. I was saying that if you come to an adult You discover an Aboriginal tribe that's never seen advanced civilization, and you try to explain to them that they live on a ball. They're going to ask you those 3 questions. I'll put money on it. Okay, the reason why is because they know what reality is.
Okay, I got it. I sent it to Brandon. Put it on a big screen, Brandon.
Okay.
Hang on.
I don't
You
think
ready, Ruhif?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, hang on, I got to find hold on. I'll kick your ass, Chad.
Yeah. The structure of the vestibular receptors. The vestibular receptors lie in the inner ear next to the auditory cochlea. They detect
Hang on, has
rotational
Brandon-
motion, linear
Has
motion.
Brandon put it up yet?
Nope, not yet.
I'm reading it.
All right.
There we go.
Is my mic low?
It is a little low. You could be a little louder.
A little bit.
Oh, Jeremy.
Now we can't hear you at all. You guys still there?
All right, am I good now?
Yeah, that's better.
Excellent.
Okay. Structure of the vestibular receptors. The vestibular receptors lie in the inner ear next to the auditory cochlea. They detect rotational motion, linear motion, and tilts of the head relative to gravity and transduce, blah, blah, blah. We want to focus on the part that says rotational motion and linear motion.
Yep. I reckon
Right.
the linear motion is wrong, by the way.
Oh, they're wrong?
I think I don't think you can detect linear motion. If you're in a plane going at 500 miles an hour, do you feel something? I don't.
Yeah,
You?
you do. You feel the turbulence, right? You know
Yeah,
that
that's
you're moving.
minor changes in acceleration.
I don't give
Bumps,
a
right?
shit. You still feel it. That's what I'm saying,
You still
bro.
feel it, Ruhif. Jeez,
Yeah,
Don't
man.
be
their
stupid.
acceleration change. What do you think a
Yeah,
bump
but
is?
what if you're on? What if you're in space and there's no friction, man? And you're
Yeah,
just
man.
cruising
What do you
think
along
a
and there's
bump
no
is?
brake.
What
Fucking
do you
get out
think
of
a
here,
bump
bro.
is? What do you think a bump is, Travis?
What's a bump?
Turbulence. Yeah, what's turbulence in a plane, right?
What's your point? I'm talking about the fact
Anyway,
that
Their
your body,
acceleration changes.
You're
your
going into the
body,
weeds.
your body is equipped to notice physical change. I don't give a shit if you
Yeah,
want to call it
change.
linear.
Change, correct. Acceleration. Very good. Thank you, Travis.
And are we accelerating around a rotational sphere?
Yes, we are. In what direction
So
is that
why do we not?
acceleration?
Doesn't
Why
matter.
do we not detect? Why do we not detect it then?
Yeah, this is a physics question, right? So we all agree that
No,
there's an
it's a
acceleration
bullshit.
My
downwards.
question,
bullshit pseudoscience
Rohit,
question.
why do we not detect it? My question.
Well, you can actually detect it. You can. People have done it. They've
Theoretical
weighed.
question.
We feel
No,
the
yeah.
rotation
People
of
have
Earth.
Why
weighed.
don't we detect it?
Okay,
People
I've got
have
a
weighed
question for you.
masses
Yeah. Before
at
you go
different
there,
latitudes.
yeah. Before you go there, I've got a question for you, Ruhif. Okay.
Okay.
Which came first? Did someone measure a mass at one latitude and then happen to just measure it at another and think, oh, wait a minute, I just traveled 2,000 miles and I just weighed my bar of gold. Why did that happen? Or
I don't care. No,
you need to
genetic
care.
fallacy.
You
I don't care.
Yeah,
Genetic
you do
fallacy.
need to care because otherwise it's
Genetic
just a
fallacy.
conceptual.
Genetic fallacy.
Okay,
genetic
okay,
fallacy.
Can
fine.
Ruhif answer my
No,
question,
please. No.
I
Well,
haven't
he
heard
was
the
going
question.
back
He's
and
not
forth with
answering
Ruhif. I don't think those
Yeah, but
guys were
Ruhif
done.
changed the argument. He changed the argument by bringing up mass and weighing and measuring the spin of the Earth. So now,
Well, let's
Ruhif
let
has
Jeremy
a claim.
respond to it because Jeremy knows.
Yeah.
all
Okay,
these
I
are-
want him.
Let him try to respond.
All right, I'm gonna forget.
Seconds, Travis.
Look at you,
2 seconds.
Travis.
So
Shut up,
you're
Ruhif.
saying we do? You're saying we do sense the rotational motion of Earth, Ruhif?
No, I'm explaining why we don't.
Okay, let's hear it.
We can't, as humans, sense it. We're not sensitive enough. All right, so you understand the acceleration due to gravity is downwards, right? Towards the center of the Earth.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, listen.
Well, that's
he's
what
making
the model
claims
says.
that you gotta pick apart.
No,
Ruhif,
you
this
gotta
is
let,
what it
you
is.
gotta let
This is
Jeremy do his
created.
thing. You gotta trust Jeremy. Travis,
This is
you
our
gotta
model.
Trust him, the other people.
This is our model.
Listen, they say that the vestibular system can detect acceleration, rotational
Yes.
and linear. We don't detect that.
Right. Listen to what I'm saying. Now, objects accelerate downwards at 9.8 meters per second. Do you agree with that?
No, they don't.
Oh, you disagree with that?
Yeah.
You
gas
disagree
goes-
that
I let
objects are
gas
already
go-
downwards.
I let gas out. It goes up, not down.
Oh, fuck yeah. And displaced by more dense objects. If you're in a vacuum and you
Gas is-
drop
if the
something,
gas- if the
it
gas
We're
accelerates
not in a
down.
fucking vacuum, dude. Get the fuck out
Well-
of here with your La La Land bullshit.
The
Is
air,
gas
the
going
air we
down at
breathe,
9.8?
My God.
the air we breathe is
Is
gas
the
in a
gas going
vacuum.
down at
All I
9.8
need
meters?
is the air.
Shout out to Cleve Barnes. Thank you for your work. $15. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Bouncing off each other. If you had a single
Is the
particle
gas
That's a
going down? Yes or
non-answer.
no?
That's a
Yes or no,
non-answer.
Ruif?
of gas,
Is the
gas has
going
high.
down? Is the
gas
gas
has
going
very-
down?
For fuck's sake. Gas
Go
has very high kinetic energy. It's going in all directions, right?
So not down.
If you had a vacuum chamber and drop something, would it drop at 9.8 meters per
God.
second squared?
Is the gas
fuck?
in it? Is the
Ruif.
gas in it?
Oh, this is a very simple question,
Is the
Jeremy.
gas
Do
gonna
things
fall
fall
down?
down?
Ruhif, you
That's
gotta
all
let
just
Jeremy
jump in.
respond. You gotta let Jeremy
Yeah.
respond.
Jump in,
And
then
he's just
Ruif-
fucking derailing it.
No, let him respond. It's
You
a
are,
back
man.
and forth. It's a back and forth. Go ahead,
He's
Jeremy.
a troll. I said it at the beginning. He's a troll.
We
He's a troll, you're right,
Yeah,
Travis.
Guys.
Feeling is
Go
mutual,
ahead.
Travis.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
So we got our vacuum and we got put some gas in it. Does it fall down at 9.8 meters per second?
It depends what its original kinetic energy is. But yes, they will fall eventually to the ground. That's
Gas
how
falls
atmosphere
down.
is.
Gas falls down at 9.8 meters per second in a vacuum.
It
What are
depends
you
on its
fucking high
original.
or something? Are you high?
It depends on its original
Troll,
kinetic
Jeremy.
energy and direction. But eventually, yes, it will go down.
Dumb.
No, it doesn't. It fills the container.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't. What do you mean eventually? When? When's eventually?
Now, how do you think we have a fucking pressure gradient?
How long does it take for the gas to fall down at 9.8
It
meters per
depends
second?
on its original kinetic energy and direction.
How so?
Well, if you have some molecule going straight up, that's its original thing, then it's going to have to fight gravity.
Okay, then at what point does it drop at 9.8 meters per
Oh,
second like you
For me
claim?
to do that, if it has no kinetic energy, it will drop at
It's
9.8
gas.
meters per second.
It's
But it's
gas.
a gas, exactly.
When do we get it? When do we get a
Hold on.
1-inch layer of gas at the bottom of the container, though, Ruhif? Like in 100 years, a million years,
You get-
10 minutes? When?
You get a
Give us a
pressure
guess. Give us a
gradient.
guess.
You get a
What you
pressure
don't
gradient.
What you don't seem to understand is when the gas falls down, it bounces on the floor and goes up again.
I don't think
Just
Ruhif asked for a
just
tag
like-
team.
Just like when you throw a ball up in the air, can you get? Remember, these things are running around at
Fall down, go boom. Fall down, go
500
boom.
Why'd you
meters,
have to interrupt, Ruhif? I mean,
500
Rumpus?
meters per second.
Why'd you have to interrupt?
Ruhif,
Ruhif.
why is Rumpus white knighting for you? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Just
what's
I
talking
going on.
didn't ask any. It's
He
fine.
didn't
Yeah.
ask me.
Yeah, we didn't ask you, but
Nonsense.
shut
Go
up.
ahead.
They
Go ahead,
fall
Travis.
down and they
Right.
bounce
No one
up
asked me to
again. So
come
this
in.
idea of falling down being a problem and means they'll accumulate at the ground is absolutely stupid.
So
They bounce up like a bouncy ball.
Oh, so they will
So
never
not
fall
down.
down.
So they don't. So they don't
They
fall down at
fall
9.8
down and then
meters per
bounce
second.
up again. Jesus Christ, it's so simple.
How
So they don't fall
how long
down
do
at
they do that,
9.8
Rumpus?
meters per second.
They also fall left and bounce right, and fall right and bounce left. So I guess gravity works in every vector.
No,
The
just
every
try
notion that
direction,
everything falls down at
Here we go.
9.8
It's really
meters
simple.
per
Let me
second.
explain slowly.
The
Oh my
notion
Does
that
it ever stop
Imagine-
doing it?
Imagine
notion
throwing a
that-
ball up. Imagine
Does
throwing a
it
ball
ever
up.
stop doing it? We don't need a word
No, it
picture,
doesn't
Rumpus.
stop doing
Does
it.
it
Imagine
Rumpus was
throwing a
talking.
ball.
Right, so you're disagreeing with Ruhif then?
No, I'm agreeing with Ruhif. So
You're not.
imagine
No, you're
a ball. The ball vectors are 500 meters per second. They're going in all directions, but they will slow down. If they were to go up, they can go up to 60 miles high before they'd turn around.
Yeah,
We're in
who
Ruhif's
measured that?
vacuum
Who measured
chamber.
that?
Hang on,
Oh, okay,
we're in
so
Ruhif's
can-
vacuum chamber, Rumpus. We're not in 60
Okay.
miles in the air.
Okay, so imagine you've got one ball, one atom
Oh
then,
my
inside the
God.
vacuum chamber, and it's going up. So it's got 500 meters per second. So imagine throwing a ball upwards at 500 meters per second in a vacuum chamber. It would hit the top of the vacuum chamber and then bounce back down to the bottom, then bounce back up again, and bounce up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
It would never
Blah,
stick
blah,
at the
blah.
bottom.
Yeah. So
You
it
would
doesn't
never
just
stick at the
Yeah,
fall
bottom.
when
down.
does it stop?
So it
when
doesn't
does it
just
stop?
fall
Never
down at 9.
It never stops.
So it doesn't.
So you disagree with
doesn't
Ruhif
just
then?
fall-
Good job, thank you.
No, I'm sure Ruhif didn't say they stopped moving.
He's saying there's a downward.
Pretty much.
Fall.
Wow, man.
He said
He's saying
they
there's
fall
downward
at
pressure.
9.
Yeah, they do fall. Their speed goes down as they accelerated downwards as they go upwards. So they'll be,
Yes,
but they've
fall
got such a
down,
high
boom,
initial
boom.
velocity.
You
the
need to get in a
downward
separate
acceleration-
room with Ruhif and sort your stories out because
Ruhif,
you're
I'm sure
contradicting one another.
No, Ruhif would say they're being accelerated down, and they are.
No,
But the point
he
is-
didn't.
Yeah.
You see,
Yes,
what
it
it's-
did.
yeah, you see.
Jesus.
You just didn't understand him. So the point, just think of
let's take this ball.
So we're talking about
And
entropy.
let's throw it to the wall, to the
So
side.
there's entropy. So they're going to run out of energy.
No, they're not. The atoms do not run out of energy. They're perfectly elastic.
You
They do
just
not
said
lose
that they
energy.
slow down. They're going to keep slowing down, bro.
Right.
what you
Imagine.
said.
Okay. If I
Perfectly
throw.
elastic.
Okay,
And Ruth said depends on their kinetic
Hold
energy,
on.
how long it will
Yeah,
take
Like a
them
bouncy ball,
to slow down.
just
Right,
like a
but-
bouncy
No,
ball.
to get
Rumpus,
to the
bouncy
bottom.
ball stops bouncing
To
eventually.
settle into
hold
a
on.
gradient.
Imagine I throw a ball up at 500 meters per second. It
I'd
would
like to
go
throw
upwards.
you up. I'd like to throw
It would
you up
go
at
up
5 meters.
until it would go up, gradually slowing down because it's being accelerated downwards until it reached 100 kilometers or 60 odd miles, same thing. And then it would turn round, and then it would go back down to the ground, and then it would pick up exactly the same speed, and it arrived back down to the ground with 500 meters per second, and then it would hit the ground and go back up again and go back up to 100
Why?
kilometers.
Why, when it hits the top, Rumpus, here's a question. When it hits the
Doesn't
top
hit
and
the
slows
top.
down, all right, when it turns around and slows down,
Right.
why doesn't it only fall at 9.8 meters a second until it reaches terminal velocity of 200
Another
miles
thing
an
is
hour,
terminal
whatever that
velocity
is?
for an atom.
Oh,
You-
okay, that's a
you got me
special
with
We're
pleading.
talking about a ball.
Yeah,
Special
what's it running
pleading. So
into,
it stops. It stops, and then it goes infinitely fast back down again.
Doesn't go infinitely fast. It's accelerated downwards.
From a standing start,
Yeah,
at the top where it turns
Okay,
around, it
yeah.
then picks up speed, it accelerates from
Yeah.
zero.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
So imagine we got that atom sitting at 100 kilometers up in the air.
What makes it
Hold on,
accelerate? Gravity?
Let me just tell you, and then you can understand, and you can come back at me. So there is stationary. This is the position you've just put me in. So there's this atom sitting at 100 kilometers up in the air. And it stopped going upwards because the acceleration due to gravity eventually removed all its vertical velocity. It's still got horizontal velocity. Let's just worry about the vertical. So it hits the 100 kilometers. And then it stopped, and then it comes to a stop because the acceleration due to gravity has eventually taken off all the speed. It then
The wall
turns
took off
round.
the speed. What are you talking about?
Nearly there.
Let him go,
And
let
then
him
it's
go, let him go.
accelerated downwards. Then it's accelerated downwards 9.81 meters per second. And by the time it gets back down to the ground, it's going at 500 meters per second again. It hits the ground, and then because it's perfectly elastic, it then preserves all its energy, and then it will go back up again to 100 kilometers.
Okay, cool. Right, lovely story. Now, my question is, everything else we drop from 100 kilometers and up will not reach 500 meters per second or whatever you're talking about as the atomic speed of falling. Why is the atom, this gas molecule, which is not an atom, it's a molecule, why does it have this special pleading on your story that it reaches
What is your
500 meters
object
a second?
hitting?
But if I drop a brick or a bowling ball, what will be its terminal velocity?
What is
Right,
your
500
object hitting
meters
on the
a
way
second.
down?
Do you want to answer here?
You can do it. It's all right. We're way off
Right.
topic.
So
Off topic.
Right. So you don't have
Which is what trolls
drag. We were discussing a vacuum. Discussing in a vacuum
Don't
makes it all
drag.
lot
So molecules
Hold on,
don't hit
hold on,
molecules.
Don't interrupt when I was just answering. If we're in a vacuum chamber, let's just do that. That removes all the
Oh, we're
confusion.
back in the vacuum chamber. Okay, good
We'll
idea.
do that with the
We
vacuum
don't-
chamber.
we don't
then
live in a
then
vacuum
we can
chamber.
go back to the atmosphere. So
We don't
in
live
the
in a
vacuum
Bounce in and
chamber,
out of this vacuum
not
chamber all the time.
reason
We're in
it's
it,
got
we're
a
out of it,
velocity- the
we're in
reason
it,
it's
we're
got
out
a
of it.
velocity- The reason it's got a velocity of 500 meters per second is because that's how fast atoms are moving at 25 degrees C. Even though you might not be able to appreciate that, that's what they're doing. Even the atoms inside a solid are vibrating at that sort of velocity. It's just with a gas, they're free to go off and follow that the velocity. That's the only difference. So that 500 meters per second is not special to gases. They're just
prove
that's
the
the
gas
speed
is
that
moving
all
at the
atoms
speed.
and molecules are moving at.
Prove the
Yeah,
gas is
I was
moving
gonna
at the
get-
speed.
I was going to
No,
get to that.
how about we
percentage,
talk
but anyway,
about
yeah.
how about we talk about
Where's
our
the evidence that
centrifugal
this
motion
gas
that
is
the
moving at
vestibular
500
system
meters per second?
It's a cool story, bro. That's what
It's
it
just
is. It's a really
it's a
cool
fundamental
story.
fact. The fact you don't know anything about science
No,
and
it's not a
science
fundamental fact.
deniers.
Something that you
Nah,
just
yeah.
said, that's not necessarily true. You haven't
It
shown
is
any evidence
absolutely
that
true.
gases move
It's
at
just a
500 meters
story.
per second.
Yes, it's an
Prove
absolute
it.
fact. The fact you're denying
Prove
this just
it.
means you're denying
It's not a
physics.
fact. Prove
It
it.
is an absolute fact.
Prove it
How?
then.
Oh
How
my
are
Prove
you
God.
it then.
prove that?
It should be
What-
simple.
So what citation would you
Prove
like me to
it.
provide you with? Would you like
None,
university
because you
citation?
owe me 6. You owe me
No,
6
no, shut up.
citations.
Wait,
We'll
argument
concentrate on this.
starts.
Stop trying to deflect.
Citations are where the argument starts. I don't care who writes what. It's
So
time
when I
to
crack
prove it
open
now.
my Pepsi, the gas is coming out 500
science.
meters per second.
You don't
huh?
want to accept any of the research of science then?
It's
you wanna-
time to prove it. Let's see a
So I
gas
can't
molecule
give you any
moving
scientific
Let's see a
citations, that's what
gas
you're saying.
molecule. You can
I
give
can't
us a
give you anything. You're not going to
citation.
accept any scientific citation.
Hold on, he just said something.
Show me.
Let me interject real quick, because Rumpus, you just said you're not going to accept any science. Do all scientists agree with each other?
Yes, on this subject, absolutely.
Oh, really? Okay.
I bet they don't.
Listen,
bet
I
they
accept
don't.
Absolutely do.
The citation is the beginning of the argument. I could write a citation that unicorns exist. After
Yeah, but
that,
you're
it's
not.
time to.
Yeah, but
After that,
but
shut up! I wasn't done.
science is peer reviewed.
Rumpus,
You're
let him
not.
talk. Let him talk, Rumpus. Stop
man.
talking over him.
Science is peer reviewed and checked and measured against
Talking.
reality. You're
Every
not.
time you talk,
Rumpus, stop rumpusing.
Every time you talk, I'm gonna start talking. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say your thing. Say
You
your
you
piece,
you seem
Jeremy.
to think that you're peer
This
reviewed,
is what's gonna
Jeremy.
happen every
Jeremy.
time you try to
Bro.
talk.
Jeremy. You think
Every
to think
time
that
you
you're
try
peer
to talk,
reviewed.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
start
well done,
talking.
Jeremy. That's very
Because
mature
you can't
behaviour.
let anyone
But
finish a
yeah, I
fucking
am. But
sentence.
Jeremy, you said that you can have an opinion. You don't seem to realise that science doesn't work on opinions. It works on experimentation observations. It's checked by millions of people around the world in experiments.
works
It's not
on
just,
consensus,
it's not
Rumpus.
just someone's opinion.
And give us proof.
Give us
Yeah,
the
so
scientific experiment
Rumpus,
where they
it's
measure
boring
gases
just to sit here and
at
hear
500 meters
someone
per
say, "Oh, the body of science, the science agrees." You're a science denier. If
Yeah.
you're not, if you don't believe what I'm saying, you're a
Consensus.
science denier. Have a conversation. Don't fall back on this appeal to authority bullshit.
It's a popularity contest.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
It's
Mic
not
check, mic.
it's
Hold on,
checked.
Rumpus. Hold on, Rumpus.
It's
Mic
checked.
check, mic
Matrix.
check.
Yeah, Matrix, we can always hear you. It's a stupid thing you keep on
Rumpus,
doing.
We
What,
hear
give
you,
us the
Matrix.
scientific
We
experiment
hear you, Matrix.
or the test where they measured
the
gases
Rumpus.
at 500 meters per second.
yes, Jeremy, what do you want to say, Jeremy?
The citation is where the argument starts. It doesn't end there. Now it's time to prove it. Okay? You have a citation, gas moves at 500 meters a second. Now it's time to prove it.
Right, so you want me to give you a citation of the experiments that have been done to show this?
No.
Okay.
No. I want
You
to
want
Well,
just
how-
the experiment, bro.
Just
Well,
an
how can I-
experiment.
Yeah.
So how can I prove it to you across the internet without me
A
showing you?
video.
I don't have an experiment. Oh,
How
so
would
all the
you
YouTube
prove
videos.
something
It?
moves? How would you prove something moves at 500 meters a second?
Well, there's been numerous experiments done to do this. There's something called for instance,
an
what they
experiment.
okay, here we go. This is what they did. The experiment to check the speeds. They have what you have is a rotating disc which filters out things. That means they can only get through if they're going through a particular velocity, and through this you can check the distribution of velocities of a gas. So this is a standard experiment. If you've done any physics, you'd know about this.
What are you talking about? Like a centrifuge?
Yes, no, it's not like a centrifuge. What you do is you have a rotating disc, and only things going at a particular speed can make their way through these interleaving discs. And so you can show that. So you can show that gases are getting through the holes, and they can only be doing this if they're going at the speeds I'm talking
Great story,
about.
bro.
Okay,
Great
yeah,
story.
It's an
Yeah,
experiment.
way-
Just a
way
stance
off.
Hold up,
denial.
it sounds like a plausible test. Let's see it done, so we can,
Well, I don't know if it's I don't
See if
have
it
to have
works.
the top of my head have a YouTube video that does this, but it is an established physics. If you knew
Why
that
don't you
physics,
go
you'd know
away?
that.
hold up, Rumpus. If you knew anything about
Just
logic
believe.
and intellectual discourse, you would know that you make a positive claim, you have the substantiation, the burden of proof is on you. So if you're
Yes,
making a positive claim that gas is moving at 500
I'm
meters per
making a
second,
claim. Agreed.
then you should
agreed.
damn well have a video or some sort of
No, I
substantiation
didn't
for
know.
it.
I didn't have a prepared position on this. You're just
Okay,
saying
well then don't
I'm
make
not going to
errant
believe it
claims.
unless I see it in my bedroom. Your always position
No, I'm
is
saying that
no.
you need
Your
to
position is
have evidence
always
for your
show
claim.
it to me. I want an experiment on my lap now. Otherwise,
Do
I'm
you
not going to
have
believe it.
any
Shouldn't we?
What
substantiation
you
for your
don't
claim?
understand
asking
is
for
that there are
proof?
some sources that are
What's wrong with
authoritative,
asking for
and you
proof,
can
Rumpus?
believe
What's
that.
wrong with that?
Okay,
And
so
there
you
are
don't
some
have
sources
evidence.
Because
that
this
have
is a massive
established
tangent, bro.
their credibility because
All
they're
right,
peer
fantastic,
reviewed
Rumpus. So you do
by
not have
millions of
evidence for your
people,
claim.
by
We can
millions of.
dismiss it.
Yeah, you're just a science denier then. You're just saying that no science is good enough for you. No,
No,
matter how
we're
many
saying that you
institutions
need
That's
do it,
evidence
not
for
no
your
science.
matter
claim,
how
or
many
else
times
it's
You
going to
haven't
be
shown
dismissed.
anything.
All right, let me break in here for a minute. Rumpus, go off and find a citation and be quiet until you get the citation, please. And I'll read these super chats, so that'll give you a couple minutes.
Yo, fuck a citation. We want the actual evidence.
That'd be good too. The evidence would be nice. Hopefully, the citation points to the evidence.
Along with the other
We'll
6
take-
citations you owe me, Rumpus.
We'll take
I
this
would
one
have
for
given
now.
you were so rude to me. I was actually trying to. Last time I was.
rude.
All right, guys, don't
Last
start.
time I was muted
Hold on,
by
he's
you.
saying the
I was
super
actually
chat.
trying to find out what citations you wanted.
Go
But you
find
then
the
muted me.
citation.
Rumpus, chill. He's
Go
saying super
find
chats. Go
one
ahead, man.
citation. Now let me read these, okay? James Richard, $5 says, if the wheel is balanced, you won't feel the wobble. If unbalanced, you will feel the wobble. Does Earth wobble? Ruhif, do you mind fielding that? Does Earth wobble?
What was the question?
Oh my God.
Does
man.
Earth wobble?
Does Earth wobble?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
is there
say
a
not
wobble?
noticeably.
Not
Okay, is that a
noticeable.
yes?
I'd say not noticeably.
Is that a yes?
I would say not noticeably.
Okay, that's a non-answer, Your Honor.
That's a yes, but not noticeably.
You gotta love the double speak with these guys.
All right,
That's
fine.
a yes, but we can't prove it.
Can anybody else
There's
answer
an
that?
uneven distribution of mass.
Yeah, is that
Whether
the
it's
case?
detectable, probably not.
Okay.
So
Yes,
theoretically,
Earth is-
but not actually.
So there's no
Earth is
evidence
supposed
of it.
Yeah, the heliocentric model is supposed to have a wobble.
But there's no evidence of it. That's what I hear.
Yeah, so it's just
I
an
don't
argument
know.
from
This,
ignorance.
this,
They
is
claim
again,
it's true.
this is again an example
they have no
of you guys
evidence for it to
asking a
be true.
question. Again, it's a question. It's another example of you guys asking some question and expecting us to have some fucking.
That's because you're
Yeah,
making a
experiment.
claim.
Don't claim it as true if
I
you have no
haven't
actual
actually finished
evidence,
my
bro.
sentence, Travis. Haven't actually finished my sentence. Expecting us to have some citation or whatever immediately to hand, like you do with Rumpus. That was bullshit.
That's weird because the globe has been known for 2,000 years, so you shouldn't have to
Oh,
look or do
I don't
what
know.
kind of
I don't know
experiment.
how we
At
got
your
a
fingertips to be
straight
able to
gas
find
moves at
something.
500 meters.
Correct.
You
All right, he doesn't have the
have the
evidence,
evidence.
guys.
Let's move on to
We'll
the
move on.
chat.
We'll move on. All right, James Richard,
All right.
$10.
Let's not move on.
Yep.
Let's go back to what we were
No,
actually
let's
talking
not.
about.
Let's
which
move
was
on
centrifugal
because I'm
force.
reading the super chat, and then we can go back to whatever we want to go back to. James Richard,
Centrifugal
$10.
force.
Gas is the very thing you took out to create the vacuum. So put the gas back in the vacuum and get rid of the walls creating the container and tell me what happens. Well, I'm pretty sure we all know what's going to happen if you
Entropy.
take the gas
Entropy.
out of the
Fucks off.
container.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like Earth.
entropy happens.
Entropy happens. All right.
The container walls are the
Can
next.
I ask Randy
One
if
more,
this
guys.
centrifugal force?
Well,
Oh,
hold
you
on,
got
hold
one
on,
more.
hold
Okay,
on,
go on.
hold on. Let me get
Hold on.
through these guys.
I'm
Sorry
holding.
about
I'm holding.
that. Good.
Hold
Cleve Barnes
Hold on, hold
donated
on.
$15. Thank you for the work. I think I already read that one, but thank you anyway. Silent Zero, $5. Bouncy balls go boom boom. Can you guys still hear me?
Somebody got the YouTube feed. playing.
Somebody's
yeah,
got it
someone
I
playing.
can hear you, Brendan.
Yeah,
Everyone
my
else went
phone
quiet
just suddenly
Bouncy balls
started
go
playing
up,
the
go boom,
damn
boom, go down, go boom,
video.
boom,
It's
go
so
up,
weird.
go boom, boom, go down, go boom.
All right, I'm good. Now you guys can go. Thank you very much.
All right, I'd
What was
like
your
to go
question,
back. Oh.
Can I have a go after you, Travis?
Yeah,
I'm
because
not
it
gonna
was
answer
something,
Travis
it
anyway,
was
so,
something before that you made a claim for, Ruhif. Can you please tell me what a genetic fallacy is?
Is where the origin of a claim has some impact on its truthfulness. It doesn't matter where a claim comes from.
That's
Doesn't
not
matter
what
what
a genetic. That's not what the genetic fallacy is.
Can you tell me what it is then?
The genetic fallacy is a fallacy of irrelevance because it's based solely on something or someone's history, rather
Where the claim comes from.
rather than its current meaning or context. And that's not my question. My question isn't calling into question the current meaning or context. It is calling into question the claim itself. How was it first determined that there was different weight for mass at different latitudes? Was it conceptual or was it measurable?
How was it first determined?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it was measured.
But who did it?
That's simple. I don't know.
So you don't know, you believe in something that you've never seen established or proven.
I've seen it established. I've seen plenty of people do it.
Okay. I'm not
You asked me
asking
who
about it.
first
I'm
did
not.
it. I
No. I'm not asking about it being repeated today. Again, this is where you might not like the fact that your claims have an origin. They began somewhere.
Yeah, and they don't matter.
Yes, it does matter. My thesis
It's
is
a
that
fallacy of irrelevance that is based solely
No,
on
it's
someone's
not.
or something's
It's not. It's
history,
not
origin,
finish.
or source.
It
I'm
is
just
not
reading the genetic fallacy.
irrelevant. It is not irrelevant to call into question the basis for your claim. And you
Question?
don't know what the origin of your claim was or is.
If the Earth is a spinning globe, weights will masses will
How
have
do you
different
know that?
weights.
How do you know that?
Centrifugal force, basic physics.
Okay, centrifugal force,
What, that
basic
force we
physics.
can't feel?
That's not an answer.
We can measure it though.
Okay,
We can measure it.
Okay, listen. So centrifugal force. Okay, so if we have a centrifuge and we spin it around so that we place an object in that centrifuge so that it is pushed away from the center of axis to the wall. Are you telling me that at different places along that line, along the radius, there are going to be different weights?
You're talking about a centrifuge that's sort of parallel to the ground, right?
You just said centrifugal. You brought in centrifuge.
Yes. Is your centrifuge parallel to the ground? Is the centrifugal force perpendicular to gravity?
I don't know.
What the fuck
Well,
does that even mean?
I've got a
Can you explain that?
Rubik's got a point.
I
Rubik's
own a
got a point.
centrifuge. Do you want to see
If
my
you're
centrifuge?
talking about a flat centrifuge, it's just a circle spinning. You wouldn't expect to see any difference. But if it's like a sphere and you're at above a smaller radius, at the top of the sphere or something, then yes. But if it's just a flat centrifuge with this one circle radius, do you know what I mean?
Again, is that a conceptual idea? Like, I think that this is going to happen, or how did they? Because you don't do it on the Earth, right? What do you mean
you don't do it on the Earth?
This goes back to the origin of the claim. The origin of the claim. I don't
need an origin. I don't need an origin.
Okay. If you're measuring a mass at the 35th latitude, whatever, I don't even care, and then you move to the 65th and you measure it again, all you know is that you have a different weight. You don't know what the cause is. At that point, you don't know what the cause is.
I can invent, right, out of whole cloth, a model, right? That model needs to make predictions. If those predictions bear out, that's how it works.
Says who?
Okay, Richard Feynman says it.
No, he does not say that.
Yes, he does.
He does not use the word prediction. He does not use the word prediction. If you're talking about that clip, that like 2-minute clip where he makes his audience giggle, there is
exactly that one.
Pull it up and show me where he says prediction anywhere in that statement.
He uses the word guess. He says you make a guess and everyone laughs.
That's not a prediction.
If you test it with experiment, absolutely it is.
No, that's not a guess, or that's not a prediction.
My guess is that the Earth is a spinning globe. If my guess is correct, I will predict that I'll have masses weighing different at different
How do you know that? How do you know that prediction should be a logical No. Then you have something to base the prediction on. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, basic physics.
Okay, so you show me where the basic physics were first carried out to where they determined
genetic fallacy, Travis. Genetic fallacy.
No,
that's the asking for the origin story.
That's the fallacy. Okay, again, the genetic fallacy has to do with the relevance of calling someone's claim into question as opposed to the current meaning or context. That's not what I'm doing.
I'm not about who did it first or where did the idea
That's not what the
from.
Genetic fallacy is, bro.
It absolutely is.
Okay, again, the genetic
fallacy. Would you like me to read what's on the screen, Travis?
The genetic fallacy. I'm doing it right now.
The fallacy and not the point.
I'm doing it right now. The genetic fallacy.
You're really slippery, Rahiv.
The genetic fallacy.
I'll read the genetic fallacy off the screen.
The genetic fallacy is a fallacy of irrelevance that is based solely upon someone's or something's history, origin, or source, rather than its current meaning or context. I'm not doing the rather part, bro.
And there's
I don't care what the origin of history
prediction and guess of Rumpus. A prediction is something that turns out to be true.
Oh, don't call me Rumpus.
I'm sorry, Ruhiv. A prediction is something that turns out to be true. A fact.
That was a joke.
A guess is something unknown. So these are two different things, and you're using them synonymously.
Yeah, the guess has to be based on something. You don't
It doesn't.
Yeah, but a guess is still unknown.
Listen.
Therefore, the guess, the prediction is something that they predicted to be true. It has to be predicted. It has to be found out to be true.
My guess is that the Earth is a spinning, rotating sphere. I don't need any basis to make that guess at all.
Yeah, so you just make bullshit up. That's right. That goes back to the original.
Yeah, so you've just
you just told us that your whole model was based on bullshit.
Yep.
I tested.
You just said you had nothing to base. You don't need anything to base it on.
I can just make up a guess.
Guess. I can just make it up. I can make a guess,
And then I go test it, right?
To find a phenomenon, and if I happen to find a phenomenon that matches what I think should happen, I've proved it. When you actually haven't manipulated your cause.
No, I haven't proved it.
Yeah, you haven't manipulated your cause, so there's no actual proof. It's still just your
manipulated my latitude.
Presupposition.
You test your
so
guess.
You haven't manipulated. So the latitude is the cause, not the spin.
You test your guess against reality.
Rumpus, you're not supposed to talk. You have your citation
to make sure that's what it is.
There was been a problem with it. They seem to have shut down the links to papers.
Okay, well, go on mute, Rumpus. We're not talking.
You go on mute. Shut up, you twat.
No, you go on mute.
No, you go on mute.
You go on mute.
So nicely with Drew here. Why do you have to jump in?
We don't need to deal with you. So the point is, I can't provide you. I do have found a paper on it, but unfortunately, I can't get access to the paper because the academic naughty site has gone down, so I can't actually show it to you. But
okay, good. Go on mute. We don't need you now.
So I haven't gone, is it? That's no good.
Woohoo!
Who just muted me?
Oh no, come.
Was that you, Travis?
Yeah, you interrupted our conversation.
No, I didn't. Look,
yeah, you did. You just came in and started talking.
Why don't you go?
Come on, guys.
Travis, don't be a
allowed
fat
to speak as well.
Please.
Jesus Christ! What
he
you?
Loves to hear his own voice.
I've been quiet for the last 5 minutes. Travis is the one who's been talking like crazy and over talking Ruhif, not me.
So he was having a conversation with Ruhif that you interrupted, Ben Rumpus.
Let's talk about a subject.
So I'm not allowed to.
Ruhif made another claim. Can I address Ruhif's other claim?
You interrupted him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but Ruhif likes me and Travis likes me, so.
No one likes you.
We have a very passionate, but.
No, of course not, Rumpus. Everyone hates me.
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far.
Did you find the citation, Rumpus?
I did find a citation of an experiment that does exactly what I described. Unfortunately, the website that enables you to access papers has gone down and there's been a high court injunction or something, and so I couldn't get the actual access to the paper. But I can give you a PDF file to the physics books that reference this experiment. But I thought you might like a paper of actually someone who'd done it. And unfortunately, I can't get access to the academic paper because I say it's all been closed down. There's been some sort of high court injunction to prevent you from accessing the papers.
I thought this was like a very common experiment, and
might be able to get
done by
access to
all
them. I
these
don't know if you've
people.
got access to.
It was all known, and everybody knows that this is true. And
everybody does science knows this. I mean, the fact that you people are so removed from science is your problem, not science's.
You people.
I mean, yeah, but you are an isolated piece of science denying on the internet. You are a little local community of science deniers. The rest of the world is busy inventing things.
Why are you so triggered over us? Why do you have to come here and tell us that every day? Like, if we're that stupid that we will not have any effect on anybody because anyone with a brain will just be able to listen to us and know we're stupid, why does it bother you so much that you have to come in here and try and correct us?
There are other ignorant people who may be affected by your stupidity, and I suppose I'm trying to stop that.
That's a good point. We're talking about Sci-Hub, right?
Yet you can't prove anything that you tell us. You're always making excuses for why we don't see or feel what we should.
Relaying you to science. Yeah, it's all gone. Yeah. So, what we're doing, Paige, is relaying to you the body of human knowledge we've acquired over hundreds of years. It's been proved and tested by thousands and millions of people, and people who bothered.
Don't you think we all went to school as well?
I didn't like to interrupt to be rude, but nonetheless, science is taught to people, and we use science to build computers. Well, no, you don't seem to have been to school. I mean, it amazes me how ignorant you are.
Rumpus.
You don't seem to have learned anything. I don't know whether you miss science.
Do we have to have a meta conversation about how stupid we are and how smart you are and how we deny science and stuff, or can we talk about an actual subject?
Well, the point is that
can we talk about the fact that Saturn's rings never move?
Anybody who knows anything about
we're supposed to be seeing it from different directions all year round.
I mean,
the angles of those rings are always exactly the same.
One thing you can test yourself is the speed of sound, because that's related to the speed of the molecules in the air. So the mere fact that the speed of sound is where it is, about 760 miles an hour, is related to the speed of the molecules. So just from that one thing, this is how Newton decided what the speed of he worked out the speed of sound himself. But from that, you can say that's the sort of speed the molecules, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to transfer information acoustically without the molecules moving at that sort of speed. So just from that piece of knowledge, you should be able to think, that means that's the speed of the molecules are moving. So that should be enough for you.
Was it the original question that we were discussing about what was it?
But aren't we traveling?
Do you feel rotation?
Aren't we traveling faster than the speed of sound, Rumpus?
Yes.
No,
Yes, at the
the
equator,
medium
yes.
is traveling with us. It's not traveling against.
No, it's not.
Yeah, isn't it?
Medium traveling
We know
with us.
Bob Nodell has shown us that we're rotating at that speed. So thanks to him, we know
No,
for a
you
fact
didn't,
we're
you
rotating.
liar.
Oh, you had no proof of it before. You've got to rely on Bob.
Well, no, I thought everybody who's sensible and knows about science knows it, but I just thought you might be interested to know that Bob Nodell, a flat earther, discovered this as well. I
No,
thought that
he
bit
didn't.
might
Yeah, but I also
influence you.
know what he did after that, which you don't seem to know.
Oh, I do. He proved it again and again. He could not evade that piece of evidence. He could not find anything he could do. He tried shoving his little fiber optic gyro inside things, inside bismuth. He tried to cover it all up, and he still got the results that he got.
Exactly.
Fascinating. Can we get back to the
Gyro.
subject?
One that tests for light, right? The movement of light.
Yes.
No, yes.
Right. So not the movement of a solid body under your feet, the movement of the
No, the
light
object.
That's
in
how it
the
works.
sky.
But it measures
Yeah.
the movement of the object that it's in.
The movement of the light.
Yeah, the light tells you by the drag on the light.
Light that's not coming from the ground, light that's coming from the sky, right?
I think
No,
go
it's
and
not
learn about
measured.
it first page.
You've got confused. The light, no, it's measuring the light inside the fiber optic gyro. It's not coming outside at all. It's laser inside the bloody thing. Huh? What are you talking
Doing
about?
what? Doing what?
It's called the Sanyak. I mean, I know you know nothing about the subject, yet you still feel entitled to lecture other people about it in your usual Dunning-Kruger way. You know nothing about the
Oh,
subject. You
shut
feel
up. Just answer the question, Ruhif.
Right.
Oh,
Rumpus.
okay.
I'll be back in a minute.
Whatever.
Right.
Rumpus,
You
Ruhif,
don't know.
they all
You don't know
blend
anyway.
together.
So the way it works is that it works out an acceleration that's occurring inside it. So it can work out whether something's accelerated or not. So it can work out that it's
Hang on, Bobby.
moving in an absolute reference frame, and because it can determine the direction of acceleration, it can work out there's 15 degrees per hour movement on Earth. And the fact thought there was sunlight or something, you know nothing about this. But yet you're Dunning-Kruger. You think you can
just
lecture
stop
me?
it.
Oh
Stop
my
your,
God, Rumpus, shut
It
the
needs
fuck
exposing.
up.
This is what flat earthers do. They think they know.
Okay.
Oh, God, thank you. I was just about to do that.
Am I still here?
God damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your 15 minutes of Rumpus. So I want to show you guys something, but is there any conversations that we just kicked around from subject to subject that we want to discuss before I move on?
Centrifugal force.
Yeah, go for it.
Earth's supposed to be spinning at these ludicrous speeds and creates a hump of water around the equator. Is that right?
I think that's what they say. I don't know.
Something like 14 miles high. So you'd think there'd be quite a lot of centrifugal force to have that
Is everything
lift
quiet?
billions upon billions of tons of water up 14 miles, wouldn't you?
You would.
Yeah,
think
the
so.
water seems to be under the law of centrifugal force there.
So why can a plumb bob work on a spinning reference frame? It can't. The debate is over. Earth does not spin. If it doesn't spin, it isn't a globe. The debate is over.
It's over with water.
Yeah, the Earth is not a rotating merry-go-round, right? It's a sphere. So what Brian's bringing up is exactly.
That
Yeah.
rotates
What?
and creates centrifugal force.
Yeah, I get that. Right. No, I get that. Yeah.
Affect a plumb bob, yet it lifts trillions upon trillions of tons of water 14 miles high at our equator. You have just debunked the globe.
Right.
There is no debate anymore. This debate is over. Now we've got to press on and decide what we're doing with our level Earth.
We're writing a paper for publication.
All right, let's move on. I've got a video to show you. Are you guys familiar with the channel Level Earth Observer?
Hey, I'm back.
Oh, good.
Oh, goody.
No, you'll miss me.
Yes.
No.
So, Level Earth Observer. Are you guys familiar with that channel? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he puts out some videos. Today he put out a clip that I've been looking for a while. And it is a clip of an old balloon expedition. It's called Balloon Pioneers, First Clear Look at the Stars. This was done in 1962, I think. I've got a whole bunch of backup details for this balloon voyage. And it was done... Here, let me read before I show you this thing. History of balloon footage. Yeah, here it is. I'll tell you the history. So it was called Project Stargazer. And it was in 1962. A Navy astronomer and Air Force captain in New Mexico. And they got into this little capsule here that you see them inside. Not really little. I mean, it's pretty heavy. I think I saw 4,500 kilograms, something like that. I mean, it's no joke, right? And they had a 300-foot tall mylar balloon with helium, I believe, inside of it. And they went up to 82,000 feet, so 25 kilometers above the surface of New Mexico. This was also sponsored or had some affiliation with MIT and the Smithsonian Institute. But it got totally eclipsed by NASA because I think like the next day or something, Project Mercury, the Mercury program, put John Glenn into orbit. So it was like just a blip on the radar at that time.
Is this about the crappy footage that the news organization put out?
Well, how about you let me present and then we can get to it? Would that be okay?
I remember seeing this a couple of years ago.
Oh, good. Okay. Fantastic. I'm glad you're familiar with it. All right. So just that's where it comes from in case anybody is questioning where it came from. And here's the footage. I'll just play it. And then you can see it. There's the balloon. And they're taking off. You can see that little crane thing. We've seen that in recent footage too. So they're obviously still using some type of setup like that. Similar system. And then here's that capsule that they were sitting inside. And it's attached to the balloon. And they got in and went up. And they were studying the use of balloons, high altitude balloons, for telescopes, stargazing, that kind of thing. There it goes, lifts up. You can see that thing's heavy as fuck. I mean, this lifts a lot of weight. This balloon, which is attached like 300 feet above the capsule. They cruise up to 82,000 feet. They're sitting inside their little thing. They've got oxygen, pretty much wearing spacesuits, looking out this thing. And there it goes. Yep. It's going up. And then at the end, they have what footage of the stars.
What was that? What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured out that was put out by the news organization, not any official source.
Oh, because they did talk about they had a 12 frames per second camera that they took with them to capture pictures of the or a video.
Listen,
of
wait a minute. Listen, wait a minute. What do they say anything about that footage that just went by, like right there? There's a star in the moon.
In the moon, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The claim was that it was put out by NASA or whoever, and it wasn't.
Well, that's not what our claim is. He's just bringing this up.
The claim was that it was put out by NASA.
Okay, Brandon,
Who made that claim?
I don't think made that claim.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when I saw it 2 years ago, the claim was that it was put out by NASA.
When you saw it.
Well, all right, there's my contribution to the conversation, Travis.
Which was Dick.
Yeah, so they show this footage at the end that was included in the newsreel in 1962. So
That's not real. That's like a.
It's like one of those
in a black piece of paper that's got.
Yeah,
light
it's like one of
behind it
those
shining
light
through.
pegs. What was that?
That's
What was that game?
Are they saying that's real? Are they trying to say that's real?
It looks
No,
like one of
they're
them
not.
lamps, like one of them lamps
Okay,
that have
good.
like the stars and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it has this. Yeah, cutouts on it, and you can see them on your ceiling and shit. That's what it is, something like that.
Well, yeah, but even look, what's that thing at the bottom? Is that like supposed to be what is that? At
Looks
the
like
bottom.
a hand
No, though, like the
maybe.
gray white part. It looks like terrain
sheet
of some sort.
sort of thing.
Yeah, it looks like something plastic wrapped around something else. Like they try to
Whatever.
cover something up.
Like a sheet draped over something. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when they cut to the inside of that capsule, how do we know that that's not on the ground, right?
What do you mean when they're sitting there looking out?
Yeah, like that could all be staged.
It could be, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but then you got
show
people
footage of the capsule going up,
lifting off.
Oh no,
Exactly.
I'm not calling into question that. I'm just saying when they cut to this part, I just am like, I'm dubious, right? I'm dubious. That's all.
Of course you are, Travis.
Of course you are.
Has anybody
Genetic fallacy.
Has anybody seen the Oprah and Obama interview, the recent one where they're both sitting in a lounge room? Okay, go and have a look at that. They were in separate places. They weren't even together. They put Obama in a chair in front of a green screen, Oprah in a chair in front of a green screen, and then were able to put them both in the same living room, in front of a fire, and made it look like they were actually sitting there talking to each other. You would not have known that they weren't in the same room unless you were told. And they told us.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Probably very cringy to watch,
Thank you.
right, Paige? How was
Brandon,
Probably
go back.
very cringy, right?
Yeah,
Go back to the guys looking up, Brandon. Those two guys looking up.
These guys?
Yeah. What's he got in his hand there? Is that a microphone? He must be maybe talking into it and saying something. I just wondered what that was.
I'm thinking so. I'm thinking that's a microphone. So
yeah, that's one of those old microphones.
Ruhef said something interesting. You said that you think this footage was added on by who?
By the news organization that put it out. The claim back in the couple of years ago was that NASA or NASA or whoever, whatever the space organization was, put out this fucking comical footage, right?
So where's your citation?
I looked into it and there was no.
For this.
Again, I don't have this citation to hand, Brandon.
Well, what was your
This is what you did with
source
Rumpus,
for that
right?
information?
Oh, this was 2 years ago I looked in it, right?
Did you find a source somewhere? Or, I mean, what kind of source
think
did
so.
you have?
I think so. I came to the conclusion that there was no evidence that NASA or any official organization put it out.
Did they put this out
claimed it was real
in 62 as a part of this footage? Because if you watch this, so they've got
Did they
balloon
endorse it?
pioneers, right? And then it shows them lifting off. It shows all this shit. And then at the end, they have this. And then if you watch the very end, there's that, I don't know what that's called at the end, the little stuff that goes by at the end of the thing. So it's almost like this is one continuous newsreel from back in the day. So did they put this out in 62?
And isn't the news official? Like, or isn't the news authority? Like, I don't
right,
understand.
like I said, the claim back in the day was that NASA put it out.
Okay.
There is no evidence
No
for
one
that claim.
made that claim here. We're just watching this video and looking at it.
We're just looking at some
Why are you
clearly,
getting so
clearly
excited?
obviously comical.
Why are you getting
Just
so
listen
excited?
to the logic of what he's saying. He's saying that the news, for some reason, right? Because it benefits the news for some reason, they just put it out there. Had nothing to do with the official agency. Somebody else that doesn't benefit from NASA somehow just decided to put it out. Listen to the logic of the shit that he's saying.
I said there is no evidence that NASA put it out.
Did your source or your research show that was included in the original 1962 newsreel, or?
I think it was, yeah.
So why would they include that at the end in the newsreel? Why would
I don't know.
Why would
Ask the news organization.
Why would they
don't
have
ask
this
NASA.
little thing as if they're looking out from that capsule?
Yeah, what
to take
what
pictures?
star
And why did
formation is
they-
that one to the
and
left?
why
of the...
did they? Why did they publicize that they took a camera with them to take a reel of film when they were up there of the night sky? Why did they do that?
Ask the news organization. Don't ask NASA. There's no evidence that this is official NASA footage.
Do you find it
That's
interesting
my
that
point.
they'd put out a newsreel with all this real footage of the balloon going up?
Oh, it's
and then
comical.
add on the
Oh,
end
no, that's
this
fine.
comical space footage here?
Yeah, I find it comical.
I find it interesting that they would do that. I mean, it doesn't say anything. There's no warning here. There's no
there's
like,
no disclaimer.
hey, this isn't the real footage from above the cloud. This is some shit we added at the end just for, whatever. Is there?
Yeah, I find that comical, yes.
You find it comical that they put this out there with this fake footage
Yeah,
at the
'cause
end and
it's clearly-
didn't say anything about the footage being fake. You find that comical?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Because it's clearly not real, right? It's clearly comical footage.
If NASA
How do you
put
know
this
that's
out,
not
you
real?
would, if
From the
NASA
moon.
put this footage out, you'd
How come
defend
you
it
can
until
see
your
that's
death,
not
Ruhiff.
real?
If NASA put this out, I would call
Because
bullshit.
they're
No, you
probably
wouldn't.
seeing other things.
Guys,
I would,
don't
absolutely.
all at once. The guy
Stars are obvious.
he's
Star
about to
formations are obviously
concede
fake.
one thing. Let him concede.
The star formations are obviously fake, right?
So the news
That,
this
NASA
news
show?
agency back in the day put out this fake star footage.
I
Yeah,
mean,
public.
Go
at
and
the
hassle
very
the news
least,
agency.
at the very
The news
least, he
today is
has
all
to
fake,
admit
but the news
that
back
the
then
news
was
and authority figure faked something, which is bad, or NASA faked something, which is bad. Which one of those would you concede, Ruhiff?
Wait, hold on,
This-
Jay. So the news today is all fake, but the news back then was all real, right?
That doesn't
You're
make any sense.
contradicting
So
what Ruhiff is
answer
saying.
Matrix's question. Matrix, ask your question again.
No,
and then
I have a simple question.
no.
How come the news today is all fake, but the news
Matrix
back
asked
then
a
we can trust?
question, and then you asked a question. Answer his question, and then you can ask a question.
All right, my question was, Ruhiff, are you willing to concede that either the news, which is an authority figure, right, lied, which is bad,
Well,
or NASA, which is the government and authority figure, like which one of the two committed the sin here?
I reject that the media is authoritative to begin with. All right, you got to take some.
And yet you believe in COVID.
Through here.
Let him answer. Let him get his
man,
answer
they
out.
call it authority.
Let him answer. Let him.
Well, this is wild. You guys are saying the COVID is fake, but this footage from God knows when is real, right?
So Ruhiff,
The news back then was-
you deny that the news
who's
is an
saying COVID's
authoritative source of
Nobody's
information.
even
What do you
brought
mean
that
by
up.
that?
Correct.
Is aether bandiness just?
What do you mean by that,
I don't
Ruhiff?
place- I don't place 100% trust in the media.
You
They
don't.
fuck up
How do
and
you
they lie.
decide what is true and what is false that you get from the media?
I guess what makes a coherent picture that matches with my reality.
Ah, okay. So if it
Wow,
matches your
that's interesting.
biases,
That's
then it's real. If it doesn't
subjective.
match your biases,
Yeah,
then it's
and
fake.
you've got to be conscious of your biases as
Exactly,
well.
Brandon.
And if everybody else
Welcome
is
to
doing
Flat Earth.
exactly the same thing you're doing, just
Yeah,
taking
but you
the
guys
easy
are bad
route?
at it. You guys are bad at it.
Well, of course you're going to
You guys
think
can't
someone's
test things
bad at
against
it that
reality.
doesn't line up with your worldview, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys are terrible at testing things
You're
against
terrible
reality.
at it. You're terrible at it.
I'll kick your ass, Travis.
Ruhiff, well, how did they
can't kick that high.
test the rotation and differentiate between whether it was the ground moving or the sky moving? Like, what did they do to isolate which one it was?
Are we talking like measuring masses with respect to latitude, or are you talking about a fiber optic gyro?
Yeah, ask Bob.
Anything you want to use, whatever your science, how did they manipulate the cause to say that that was the cause of the effect?
No, you're conflating the hypothesis with the hypothesis test. Okay? In the hypothesis test, the independent variable is latitude. Right?
So latitude causes weight change.
No. Again, you're conflating the hypothesis with the hypothesis
That's
test.
the cause. The cause is changing latitude.
No, you've been listening to fucking quantum erasers
Okay,
too long.
Ruhiff, then explain it.
Okay, my hypothesis is that the Earth is a spinning globe. To test my hypothesis, I come up with an experiment. The experiment manipulates the latitude and checks the weight change.
What makes you think that's going to happen?
So manipulates nothing to do, doesn't manipulate anything to do with the Earth turn, doesn't make sure
No.
it's not anything else.
Why would you
So how
hypothesize?
Again, you've been listening to quantum eraser for too long.
How? No, Ruhiff, I'm asking for my own knowledge. How did you make sure it was the one thing you think it is if you're only manipulating latitudes? What if there's some
Excellent
magnetic
point.
thing under the ground? Or what if there's some
Excellent
other
point,
anomaly
Paige.
that's happening?
That question is why we can't prove things in science. Well done.
Oh, Ruhiff.
Right, so
You just
is not
explained
proven.
it perfectly.
So the
Oh
globe
my
is
God.
not
So
a proven
then
concept.
you don't have
Well,
any
it's
proof,
better
and
proven
we are
than your
not
idea.
in the wrong for saying I'm not just going to blindly believe you because
Flat
you
Earth
have
is
no proof.
falsified.
You've just
you're
admitted
definitely in the wrong.
there's no proof.
There is.
Why
You
would you?
cannot logically prove anything in
Ruhiff
science.
just
Why would
said
you-
can't prove anything, NASA.
100%
Correct.
No, but you can certainly
Why would you
disprove stuff, like
hypothesize that
it's
change
been
of
So
latitude?
there's nothing wrong with us saying you've got no proof because it's true.
around.
What's
No,
your
it's wrong. You have
alternative?
proof.
Yeah, 'cause no one can prove anything.
Proof. You don't understand the difference between
What-
proof and absolute proof.
Yeah. And what's your alternative?
It's not our claim.
A
It's
lack
not
of
our claim.
a lack of explanation. A lack of explanation doesn't
Replacement
deny the
is
truth.
independent of falsification. We do not have to give you another just so story
do,
that you
actually.
can cuddle up with at night.
Yes, you
No,
do, actually.
NASA, we
No,
don't.
no, no,
If
no,
you're
no.
going
We
to-
do
if you're going
not.
to reject one thing, you have to come up with
Then
an
you can't deny.
explanation.
Where
for the
do
other
you-
No,
one.
you don't have to.
Yes,
How are you
do. That is
basing
called
this?
Science.
Hey, NASA Shield, where are you basing this hypothesis of yours that we have to
You
replace
don't
your
have to
current?
base it on
That's
anything.
fine. So you just
Where
make
do you
up
You
another
just make
story.
shit up.
If
Yeah, you
the
just make
story
shit
that's
up.
made up
But
doesn't
if it
work, you
matches
just make
reality,
up something
it's more
else
likely
and
to be
hope.
true.
But it doesn't, Ruhiv.
Fuck me,
It
this is
doesn't match
pathetic.
reality. Nothing
If
that
you
you
don't
guys
have it
claim
on-
we can observe or measure or test. Don't you guys
That's
understand
Bob
that?
Nodell.
If you can't offer an alternative, then your opinion doesn't mean very much.
No,
I'm gonna
absolutely
cut
not.
out
No,
Peggy
and if
on
we're
this.
Replacement
through,
is independent of falsification. Independent.
It just means that you like the nicer story. It doesn't mean that you like the truth.
All you're
Just
saying
The
is,
story's
I don't know what it is, but it's not that. That's all you're saying.
Ruhif, what was the basis for the hypothesis that there would be a change in weight?
Hypotheses don't. Oh, so from the guess, my guess is that the Earth is a spinning ball. From that, I know basic physics, and therefore there'll be centrifugal force. Let's go and test for centrifugal force.
And how do you know that centrifugal force affects weight?
Oh, God.
Because it goes off. Fuck, you serious, Travis?
Okay, look.
Yes.
I got my degree in
We're
Bible.
very serious.
I got my degree in theology. So yeah, I'm asking you an honest question. How do you know that it affects weight at different positions?
So it's a force in the opposite direction. Is that a serious question?
Okay, listen, I'm not asking whether or not centrifugal force is real. I know that it is.
So something rotates, it has centrifugal force.
I'm not calling that into question.
Okay, then what the fuck is your question?
How do you know that weight will change at a different position in a centrifugal trajectory?
Because it's basic. You just said you don't deny centrifugal force. Do you deny centrifugal force?
No.
Okay, do you deny that we would feel centrifugal force, would measure centrifugal force on a spinning globe? And that would change relative to your latitude?
That's what I'm asking. How do you know it would change relative to your latitude? How do you know that?
Physics. Fuck. You change the radius, you change the force.
You need to show that's happening before you say it's happening. Let's show it's happening.
Sorry.
Don't just say.
Verify that the radius has an effect on the centrifugal force?
No. The latitude
What on earth are you
position.
asking?
The latitude position. It's not hard, Ruhif.
Yeah, so latitude changes the radius of rotation, right?
Okay, so look. So if we were going to build a model of this, we're going to build a large sphere. Let's just say it's going to be 5 feet in diameter. Okay? So we have a sphere that's 5 feet in diameter. And we spin it. And you put the object on the outside of the sphere at 0. And then you move it 1 degree.
At the pole? At the poles?
At the center of axis, okay? At the spin, whatever, right?
At the poles.
Okay, whatever. At the axis.
Yep.
Okay. So at the top where it's at 0, say it's 5 kilograms, and then you move it 10 degrees. How much is it going to weigh there?
4.9.
And then but look, all right. So how do you know then at 15 it's going to change? How do you know that it's going to change? That's what we're saying. Show us that they did this. Otherwise, there's no basis for you to make a prediction.
It sounds like you're doubting the physics behind centrifugal force.
No, Ruhif.
You're doubting the equations?
Ruhif.
No, we're doubting that you've shown it happens on Earth.
Ruhif,
yeah, we've weighed masses at different latitudes.
Okay, listen,
And
Ruhif.
have you isolated the cause of the effect?
No, hold on,
We
Paige.
have manipulated the independent variable, Paige.
Hold on, Paige, hold on. Listen, we're not talking right now. We're not at the point of changing latitude with mass. We're not at that point. We're saying, how did you know that was going to happen before you did it?
It's my hypothesis. I don't need a basis for it. I'm testing it.
Then you're making shit up, just like Copernicus made shit up.
Listen, again, I don't care. When Richard Feynman says you make a guess, you can have any hypothesis you want. Go and test the predictions that the hypothesis makes.
It has to be substantiated on a previous physical
doesn't.
reality.
No, it does
No,
not.
it doesn't.
Rue, if a scientist wouldn't just go, I think unicorns exist, I'm going to take a guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why you
Unicorns
guys.
he can
I
guess.
don't know why
He can
you
guess and he
guys.
can go and test
No,
it.
people would look at him and go, what the fuck? What reason would you ever have for thinking that? Like, what,
I don't
what
know
do you
why
think
you
makes
guys
you
then
even
go
think
and
that?
test
Look,
it.
real quick, just okay. Based on everything that you're saying right now,
I'm on your
you
side
guys,
here, Paige. You guys are making up that the Earth's flat. Go and test it.
It's not making it up.
We
You
have
are.
water level.
It's observably and
Water
obviously
level.
flat.
We're
Obviously.
still discussing
All
this shit,
verticals are
are we?
parallel. All horizontals are parallel. Verticals and horizontals are
Except
perpendicular
that we
to
can
each other. They
demonstrate
are
that
right
they're not.
lines. A 90-degree angle. You cannot have an angle without two straight lines. You cannot have a tangent to a curve and create an angle. It's not possible in geometry.
It's funny that you
Paige,
accuse other
how
people of
can we
being triggered,
use
Paige.
what you say to make predictions?
Oh, I
Sorry?
get triggered about this, about you mutilating geometry. Yeah, because it's heartbreaking.
Jesus. Yeah.
Paige,
Okay.
we need to make predictions. How can we use your flat Earth theory to make predictions?
Okay, I'll make a prediction with my flat Earth. I predict that every morning the sun's going to come up over there and set over there. There you go.
Okay, I predict that with my model as well. So we haven't falsified either model.
Now, exactly, Ruhif, where for 5 fucking years we've been asking you guys, show us what you did to pinpoint the cause of these effects. And you guys go, no, we don't need to pinpoint, we don't need to manipulate it. You guys are just science deniers because we made up a just so story and we're telling you it's right. Like, for real.
Our model makes predictions. Our model makes predictions
so
that
does
bear
mine.
out in the real world.
So does mine.
Okay, show us your
So
model.
does mine.
Show us your model.
Tell me a prediction.
Show us your model.
Where's the prediction? Where's the prediction that you can get a satellite in space? Paige.
Yeah, show us your model.
Got a
Paige.
magic 8-ball that makes predictions.
Is that an actual criteria,
everything yours do.
No.
Show us your model that makes these predictions.
I'm sorry, Phil, I can't hear you, darling.
Would work.
Yeah, Phil, you're pretty
You're
low, by the
very
way.
low, Phil. Yeah, I can barely hear you, mate. Sorry.
Okay, so Paige, make your prediction so that we can get a satellite into space.
You can't.
Using a flat
Sure,
Earth
we go.
model.
We send balloons. We send balloons up to low
It's on the
Earth orbit
screen.
all
It's
the
on the
time.
screen right now.
There's no issue with that.
Dr. Full of Bull. It's on the screen right now. We just saw them do it. They just put a satellite in space on the screen right now. There it goes.
Phil,
There it goes.
I can,
Flat Earth model.
There it goes.
Phil, I can give you a proof of concept for my flat Earth model that has, it's got air pressure, it's got dirt, it's got water, it's got lights, it's got plants. I can even put insects, maybe some animals in there if I make it big enough. What can you give me that I can physically hold in my hands to match my proof of concept for your proof of concept?
What are you talking about? We've got 2,000 years worth of science that has our proof of concept.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
No, I'm asking
the
for
answer
a
would be nothing,
physical
Paige.
representation. Exactly. I'm asking for a physical representation of what you say the Earth is. I can give you one for the flat Earth that has, half a dozen different things on it. How many things can you get on your proof of concept that I can physically hold in my hand that work?
Why
I
is it
can
important that
give
you hold
you
in your
a
hand?
bloody photograph you can hold in your silly hands.
Fire up, Phil.
And
So can I.
give you a
Yeah, welcome
photograph
to the
of
Ether
Superman.
Band. Welcome to the
And
Ether
of a
Band, Dr.
unicorn.
Full of Bull.
Phil, this is not very good proof, mate. You're expecting us to believe you, but all you want to give us are pictures and things that can be manipulated or CGI'd or whatever. We just want something real, physical, tangible that shows that, yeah, air can stick to a ball without containment, water can stick to a ball, people can stick to a ball. All
Paige,
these
I've
things.
got a satellite dish on my roof. It points to a satellite, Paige.
I've got a
Darling,
cell phone.
It could be on a balloon. So what? We have balloons
How can it
in
be
low
on the
Earth
balloon,
orbit.
Paige?
It's on the screen.
They put
Paige, the
shitloads
balloon
of
would be
things on
lucky to live
balloons.
for an hour or maybe a few hours or a month.
Rubbish. A month. Oh, okay.
Paige,
So
you don't know what you're talking
a few
about.
hours or a month. Phil, a few hours or a month, eh?
A few hours to a month.
Isn't
that
there
might be what you'll get it for a balloon. How many?
Well,
of you
that's
would
enough
you
another
want?
one. How do you
Paige,
explain
Exactly.
Do you know, Phil, do you know satellites don't actually prove a globe Earth?
You bet they do.
I think ISS proves
No,
that
they
quote
don't.
in the colloquial
They don't.
sense.
They could exist. They could exist in our model. They could exist in our model as well, Phil. It depends on scale. Depends on scale, mate. It does.
You've got to explain propulsion and path.
How the hell can they exist in your model?
No, we don't. They just go around above us. They don't
satellite
orbit.
going to go around the Earth for 20 years without fuel?
Oh, so you're going to
Correct, Phil.
assume that that's been up there for 20 years, even though we
bet
see
your
them
life it
dangling
has.
on wires, even though we've
What
seen them
wires?
on wires, we've seen them glitching out, we've seen people disappear
What
as they go
wires?
around a corner. The
Hang on,
guy
Nate.
who
Phil, you
grabs
jumped to
the
the ISS
wire
now.
from the guy next
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
him,
we jumped to
Phil.
the ISS now.
ISS.
Well, let's say there's a flowing river of ether up there, Phil. You put a satellite in it, and it'll flow around for 100 years, 1,000 years,
Like a jet stream. Yeah, there you go.
like a jet stream of a superfluid, jet stream, and it'll flow around for 1,000 years. There you go. Disprove that.
Let's
No,
let's
we
go and
haven't
test it.
proved nothing because we
satellite-
don't use any
your satellite did.
flowing ether to put satellites in space. We don't consider anything like
Well,
that.
you haven't been up
We just
there.
consider its speed
Go and test
and
it,
its
Effie.
range.
Go and test it.
No, I
Yeah,
can't
okay.
prove it, but I'm honest enough to say I can't. That's where the difference is.
I'm honest enough to say that
What
science can't
ether?
prove things because it can't.
What ether? Proof of the ether, please. Mr. Ether.
It
Yeah, just go outside. Just go outside and look up.
Do you think we didn't prove how to cure scurvy? You think we didn't prove that, diabetics need insulin?
Yeah, that's not
what
proved.
the fuck?
You can give 1,000 diabetics insulin, and 1,000 times it'll lower their blood sugar. Not proof. We've been through this multiple times.
So you have no proof of the globe. So why are you ramming it down
You
our
can't
throats?
prove it. You
So
can't
why
prove
are
anything.
No one's
scientifically.
ramming anything down your throat, Paige.
You're
ramming your
Phil,
voice
you sound
down
very
my ear.
agitated. You sound very agitated, Phil. We're laughing.
Why
You're
would you
agitated.
call, why would you call
When you
flat
talk high level
earthers
science
science
doesn't prove things
deniers?
with these idiots. They latch on
When
to
it
it,
don't
so you
prove
can't prove
anything.
Yeah,
anything.
we're science deniers, but science doesn't prove anything. So what are we denying?
In fact, I'm
we're
going to
denying
snip out your
non-proof.
question
Science
before, Paige.
disproves
Fuck
things.
me.
Science disproves the flat
Yeah,
Earth.
but why would we listen to science if it doesn't prove anything?
It disproves stuff. It disproves the flat Earth.
And that's what you say.
Oh,
No,
so like we're
If you-
disproving it's a
hold on,
globe
hold
without
on a
giving you
second.
proof of
9
anything
days from now.
else?
9 days
Just
from now.
like
That'd
what
be
we're
great,
doing,
Paige.
disproving the globe.
9
That'd
days
be great
from
if
Oh
now.
my
you did
God,
that.
you guys are
The
hypocritical.
globe yourself. 9 days from
Hold
now.
on, Paige.
We've disproved
Because-
it. Science only disproves things, NASA.
No,
We've
you
disproved
think-
it.
Hey,
Well,
you
James.
think you
is, but you
James,
haven't.
you got something? Go ahead.
Disproof is proof.
No, incorrect. Disprove.
It's proof that something's
Yeah.
false.
Yeah.
You
Right.
disprove.
You don't have to have a.
Oh
you don't-
shit! We've got a police helicopter hovering around.
It is proof. Just in the
Yeah, you
negative.
can't prove that, mate.
Page,
Correct.
they're up to you.
You can
You could
falsify
disprove it.
something. You can
I can
falsify
see
something,
it,
correct?
Yeah, I falsified that the horizon is a
It
obstruction.
doesn't prove anything, though.
Can I jump in real quick, guys?
I'd like some proof of the ether band, please. Some science, some real observation. I mean, some
Can I jump?
calculations on how it works or something, and maybe a.
I want to know why you're even talking.
Let me jump in real
Do
quick.
you know, Shu,
When you
we
do-
can
when you
see
do
something.
natural Science.
We can see something or observe something and not know how it works. That's okay.
Yep.
Hold on a second.
It doesn't
Science is
mean
in the
it's
business.
not real. It
Science
doesn't
is in
mean
the
it's
business
not
of
real
providing
just because we can't explain it.
Yeah, science
Pretty
is
damn well.
explanations. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
So what I meant by disprove is proof, right? If you have a theory and you disprove it,
Am I good
then
now?
you've proven
Yeah.
the
Much
falsity.
better, but
Okay,
Correct.
when you do
Marissa, that's
natural
correct.
science and you make a hypothesis and a null hypothesis, you disprove one of them and the other one is proven. That's how it works.
No, you just
Exactly.
falsify one. Yeah.
Right. I
One of them gets-
falsified the
one of them
horizon
gets
is a
validated.
obstruction.
No, you haven't.
Oh, you think you have?
With
It's
No, I know I
validated.
have.
Either you're
No,
null.
you haven't. You haven't done the shit. How do you prove? Get some math behind it.
now your
Travis-
I
satellite
don't
just
need
takes
math.
photos
Hold
of
I don't
Imperial
need math.
Mirages.
hold on, your
I don't need
satellite
math.
dishes
I don't need
are
math. We're
going
talking-
to ground-based
We're not
towers.
talking Bible here. We're talking.
They're not
physics.
coming from
We
a
need
dish
math.
in the sky.
It's very
Have a
simple.
null
Math is a
hypothesis
language. All I need is words. I've described it. It's on my channel.
I can give you the math,
over and
Ruhif.
over again.
Hey, Paige, I can give you the math. You want some math? Ruhif and Paige, you want some math? Do you want to see how
I
they
love math.
hijacked the Rayleigh criterion and turned it into a
Oh,
24,900? Do you want me to give you the math?
Is this flat Earth data?
Man.
Do you want me to give you the math? Yes or no?
I do, Data. Give it to him, Data.
Come on,
It
boy.
is flat Earth data. Bloody hell.
You could truly prove that
Is that a
it's
yes?
flat, and they would still.
Oh,
disagree.
you've just conflated one close number with another one.
No, I can show you. Dude, you're fucking out to lunch, buddy. I can prove you wrong right now. Do you want the math?
Sure.
Okay, so if we take 3 miles, which is the height, or 6 feet observer sees 3 miles away, right? Right?
Sure.
If we divide it by 0.0069, we're going to get 24,000.
What's 0069, please?
I'll explain. Chill the fuck out.
No,
I'll explain.
Explain it as you put the numbers in, please.
Okay, shut up, and I'll explain it. Keep your panties on there, buddy. Can you do that for me, Paid? Can you do that for me, Paid?
0069 come from, please.
I'll tell you. So if the idea is when we stand and look at the horizon, that is your angular limit to where things go into the neutral focal point of the eye. Doesn't matter how high you are or how low you are. This is a function of our angular. Shut up, dude. I've been saying this shit for years. At the end of the day, you can take. Yeah, because you don't understand
He's making a prediction, and it matches reality, Ruhif. That's what you said we needed to do. He's doing it.
Here's the math.
It does, Phil. His math works perfectly.
1.22.
Let Data get on with it.
Let me finish, please. 1.22 times 500 nanometers divided by 0.5 centimeters for the diameter of the eye. You're going to end up with a radiance value of 0.000122. Times that by 57.3 to get the degree, which is 0.0069. So if I'm looking at, shut the fuck up. If I'm looking off into the horizon and I notice it's a 3 mile horizon there, and I take the tangent divided by 0.0069, I get 24,911 miles. They hijacked our fucking Rayleigh criterion maximum angular limit based on 500 nanometers and 0.05 centimeters of the eye. There you go.
And data,
Math
data
works.
on the plane.
Math works.
What is the resolution of a person with 20/20 vision?
Again, I don't give a fuck about
500
your
nanometers
question.
is the only
I just gave you a formula that you can derive the circumference of the Earth from using the Rayleigh criterion maximum angular resolution formula, which is related to what? Our maximum position of the horizon based on our height. You understand? It's a hijacking from 2,500 years ago, conflated into a ball mathematics with feet and inches values. How do we know? Because the horizon is not a physical location. It's an apparent location. And it appears that the ground and sky touch. It's not a physical location. That's why it changes based on your height and wherever you go over it. It's a level plane extended.
It's a physical location. It's just that you see.
You're a moron.
Data.
And here's another thing that matches my math.
It is not a physical location.
The physical properties of water. Anyway, I just gave you the math.
Phil.
It's a necessary antecedent for the.
I'll take your dinner page.
Well, you'll have dinner
Paid,
with me
that's
on the
for sure.
horizon.
No, we'll go to a lovely restaurant.
Awesome.
A wine and dine you.
Hey, I
No, I'm
got
desperate to see the horizon. I want to go to the horizon.
super chat to read here from Leapin4J. Dr. Phil Bell knows how to regurgitate books. That's all. No clue about science.
Right.
Question for Data. Rayleigh criterion,
Sounded like
what
you'd
units
read
does it use?
Leapin4J.
Data? What units does the Rayleigh criterion use in the calculation?
They don't know about science. That's already just been established because they don't think you prove anything after you're done validating your hypothesis or your null hypothesis.
What you don't know
know
is
how
anything
science.
about mathematics.
These
Because
idiots
if you
don't know how
understood
science works.
mathematics, if you understood mathematics, sir, you'd understand that if my satellite dish is pointing 40 degrees up in the air, if it's pointing 40 degrees up in the air, how big must the damn tower be? Why don't you think?
Hey, Phil, your
Fire up,
mic's
Phil.
really low. I got you turned all the way up. And
What
it's hard to hear you.
tower? What are
Your
you,
tower's
what tower
going
are you
over.
talking about, Phil?
It's picking up
We're
the
using
signal
balloons
over
in the
mountains
air.
and hills.
It's 500 nanometers, the only light we can see.
Yeah, I'm getting to the units question as well. He's using the Rayleigh
Where did
criterion
Data
in
go?
metric.
Yeah, no kidding.
data's
He's also
gone.
saying that we don't just see at 500 nanometers.
Yep.
Again, it's just a rough calculation based on 500 nanometers.
Why 500 nanometers? Because it gives you the answer you want, or what?
Again,
Correct.
you can calculate
It's also in
450.
metric.
You can
And you've given an
calculate
answer in 25,000 miles. Why is that?
Again, it's 3 miles divided by 0.0069 degrees, which
What's
ends up to be
0069, please? You
From
said
the
it's
from the Rayleigh criterion, you get 0.0069 degrees. If I take 3 fucking miles in my calculation, divided by the tangent of that degree, I get 24,900 miles.
At
The fuck
500
is so hard?
nanometers. What do we see? What light do we see? Just 500 nanometers?
Man.
That's the only light we can
Again,
see.
Again, you are a moron to the
I'm a
degree
moron.
what you're doing.
I'm
Yes, you
pointing
are.
out.
You
I'm pointing
are
out to you that we don't
lousy-
just see
you're
at
a
500
lousy debater.
nanometers.
You're a lousy
I'm a lousy
debater.
debater. Yeah, right.
You suck at your job.
What
Go
light do
back
we
to your
see at,
boss.
please, sir?
Go back to your boss.
What light wavelengths do we see, please?
Go back to your boss and say, you know what, this flat Earth data guy, I can't debate him. He makes me feel like a fucking
No, flat Earth
shithead.
data. Flat
Go
Earth
back
data is an idiot.
to your boss.
What light do we see, please?
And tell him I need a raise because
What
at
is
the end
the
of the day,
visible
you need a
spectrum,
high,
please?
you need to have a higher education. You
What is the
obviously
visible
don't
spectrum?
have a higher education. None of you do. You're sitting
What
here
is the
fighting
visible
against
spectrum?
flat Earth. Why are you fighting against flat Earth? Tell me why.
What is the visible spectrum?
Why can't
400
you
to
answer
700. What the
question,
fuck
Dada?
do you care, dude? 400
So
to
if you
700.
put-
What do you care?
Okay, so if you put those
Why don't
numbers
you
in,
do-
what's
how
the
about
radius
this?
of
Why
the
don't you go-
Earth?
why
How
don't
is
you
the
put-
radius of the Earth dependent
why
on the
don't you put
wavelength of light?
666? Why don't you put 666 for the
And what's the answer? What's the answer?
Why don't you go ahead and do it
What
for me,
if
bud?
you
Why
use the
don't you?
horizon in the black swan? How big's your radius then?
Now here's the
you
problem
mean-
with you fucks.
you mean
Here's
the
the problem.
diffraction, we know
with
about
you
that.
fucks.
Sage infinite.
If we're at 1 foot off the ground, we're buddy to buddy, shoulder to shoulder, 1 foot off the ground, our heads. The horizon is supposed to be 1.22459 miles away based on a geometrical calculation. That's easily destroyed with optics cameras seeing well past that 1.22459
Oh yeah, because you're
miles.
1 foot off the
Meaning-
you're 1 foot off the water. We know
meaning,
about diffraction.
shitheads, meaning
We have
shitheads,
diffraction. We know about it.
meaning shitheads,
Means there's
meaning
diffraction.
meaning shitheads is that there is no
Diffraction.
physical curve. It's
Yes, there
optical
is, actually.
limitation. That's why you can surpass it with an optical camera. It's
No.
going, yeah, you should try to learn
Hold on,
how
I
to
want to
fucking
know what
see.
he's meaning.
I want to know
wanna
why you
know
don't
what
work the
he's-
500
So the
nanometers.
horizon for a human eye
So-
is
so
1.22459 for 1 foot observer. If you put a camera on the ground at 1 foot, you'll see past the 1.22459 because it's not based on physical Earth curve.
Does
That's it.
everything zoom in depending on how big the thing is? Like if you're like looking across a lake and you've got an island in the middle of the lake, you've got something on that island, but then you've got that exact same thing over on the other shore. If it's the same size, when you zoom in, it will zoom at different rates, won't it? Because one's further away. And if they're size different, they will zoom different, won't they?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I have
how
no idea what you just said, by
come?
the way.
I did.
Okay, so say on an island you've got a house and then you've got another 10 miles to the far shore, and that same house is again built on the far shore, but it's the same size. When you zoom in on it, they would zoom at different rates, wouldn't they?
Would their
Yeah, so
angular
what?
size increase linearly?
No, why are you asking her a
No,
question?
that's not
She
my
just
point.
asked
Yeah.
you a
I'm
question.
trying to clarify what her point is, and I still don't get it.
You
I'm
didn't-
not
Yeah, I
the
haven't
subject
gotten
of this
to the point
question
yet.
anyway. Anyway, so
I understand exactly what
Well,
she's
you
saying.
kind of are,
course you do.
you and NASA. But what I was wondering last night was I saw some zoomed in photography of the sun, and it seems as though when you zoom in on the moon and then zoom in on the sun, you create the same zoom, like the thing looks the same size, the sun. And I know that, the sun isn't the right size difference to create the same zoom. So how is that happening? How does the sun zoom in exactly the same as the moon does?
the same angular size approximately.
That's correct.
Can I get a minute with these guys when they're done?
Right, but wouldn't, if it's further away, even like, okay, those, because that's why I
Further
brought
away,
up the
but
houses
much,
on the
much,
lake.
much bigger. It's like having a skyscraper
Yes,
across
I
the lake and a
understand
house
that.
on the island.
Which came first, Paige? Which came first, the observation that the sun was bigger than the moon, or the idea that it's possible?
But I'm just saying that even if that house on the far shore was bigger than the one on the island, they would zoom at different rates. There would be a difference between what it looks like when you zoom in on
Not if they're the
one
same
that's
angular
close.
size.
Correct,
But that's what I'm saying. The one on the far
No,
shore
they're not.
looks the
No,
same
they're
size
not.
as that
They're
one.
pretty damn close to the same angular
Okay,
size.
no. The houses that she's talking about. We're not talking about the sun and the moon anymore. She's talking about the houses. You have a
But
house
those are-
5 mile. You have a house 5 miles away. You have a duplicate house 10 miles away. They are
Okay, that's the
not
problem.
the same
That's
angular
correct.
size.
That's correct. They're not the same angular size. Very good. The sun and the
what if
moon
they were,
are
though?
the same angular size.
Right, because they're
Okay.
relatively near and the same distance.
No,
from
incorrect.
us,
They just happen to be the same.
How do you
relative
know?
size.
Even if they
How
were the
did you
same
know
angular
that
size, wouldn't that one further away take longer to zoom in on? Like,
No.
wouldn't there be a difference?
Not if they're the same angular size.
So it doesn't matter how far away something is. We can
You have a
zoom
limit
in
to
on
your
it
zoom.
as long
You have
as
a limit. You have limits to your zoom. Yeah.
What's the limit? What's the
Okay,
limit?
hold on.
Okay, what's the
Wait.
limit?
Can I hold on? I'm going to answer Paige real quick. Paige, I think.
93 million miles, huh?
Hold on, Paige.
That's the limit.
Yeah, I
hold on,
want to get a
Paige.
minute
Wait.
when this
Okay.
is over. When this is over with, let me get a minute.
All right. I want to try to address Paige. Okay, so Paige, your question would be relevant to the sun and the moon if the house that is 10 miles away was twice as big as the house that was 5.
Well done, Travis.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I was saying. If it was the same, the house was the same
Have to
angular
be about 4
size,
times
but
as
it's
big, actually.
way further away. Like what would the ratio need to be to make that zoom? Or is it only because they're the same angular size that all of a sudden distance doesn't matter and you'll be able to zoom in on them exactly the same?
Well, you could get the
They
get
have
the
a
same
function.
I don't do
result if
photography,
they're
that's
the
why I wanna-
same
The
size.
function of
Yeah.
infinity, right? So in function of infinity is just based on your maximum point of resolution at that focal point. So they'll have an infinity factor because you'll reach your maximum focal point, right? Based on how many
Right.
lenses or whatever designs of the camera is. So you'll have that's what's hard about calculating the infinity ratio of an optics of a lens, is because if you have an assumption, it will appear to be infinite. Do you understand?
Yeah,
So
I
it's-
can't figure out how they can zoom in on something 93 million miles away and it looks exactly the same as something that's only 250,000 or whatever.
Not
This
even that.
cow
Well, you could
is
get
far
that.
away.
Hold on a second.
It's
you could
big.
get that same result. Paige.
Sorry if you
If-
roboted bad. I
if
didn't
this-
hear any of it.
If the sun and moon were equal sizes and equal distance, then you would get, like you're saying, you see in the telescope.
Yeah, that's what we see, as if they are the same size
Well,
and
they're
the
saying
same
that you
distance.
could only get it. You can only get it through angular size, is what they're saying, but that's not true. They're the same size and
Jeremy's been
equal
waiting for
distance.
quite a while.
Okay.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I brought up the point that, you have a null hypothesis and an alternate hypothesis, and one of them gets proven and one of them gets falsified. So if you say, oh, that's wrong, that's not how it works, I'd love to hear how it does work, the method where you just falsified something. Can you run me through that real quick?
Have you accounted for every single variable?
Can you
that's
run
ever
through that
possible?
method real quick or no?
There's no reason to ask
Listen.
a question, Paige. You're
Yeah.
now answering.
Hold on, let
you
Jeremy.
don't ask a
Let's let
question.
Jeremy and Paige Nessa go back and forth. No offense, Travis. Let's let him do his thing.
Have
I wanna
you
hear the method
accounted
you
for
use where
every single variable?
I want to hear the method you use where you just falsified
What happens is somebody in the future might just
you-
come back and find another variable and disprove your theory. That's what's happening.
Do you have
can
a
never
method that you use where you just
you
falsify
can never
something?
really yes, that's how science works. You can
Let's
only
hear it.
falsify stuff. I told you know the
Let's hear
scientific
the method. Let's hear the method that you use where you
You heard-
just falsify something.
Well, that's how science works.
Let's hear
Sorry.
the method that you use where you just.
Well, you know the
falsify
method. You
something.
tell me the method.
No,
you
I'm
know the
asking
method.
you. I
No, I'm
know
not
the
saying to you.
method that
See,
proves things.
I can't. No,
I
it
know
doesn't
the
prove
method
things.
that
though.
I
No,
know the
it doesn't
method
prove
that
things.
The troll has completely derailed this. Jeremy asked a perfectly sensible question, and Paige
Yeah, and I'm
has
not going
not
to fall
answered
in.
it.
I'm not falling into. See, the problem is you
I'm not
cannot.
falling for no banana in the
Well,
tailpipe
go
trick.
on mute and keep your mouth shut then. If you're not
Well,
going to answer
Rufus-
any questions.
The problem is
Rufus
that he's
the
the
one
question.
Hey
that
guys,
told me I was wrong.
he's
maybe
giving-
you guys don't
he's-
know Jeremy. I know he can handle his own. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. If Rufus wants to answer this, and go right ahead.
Yeah, he
If
said
Rufus
everyone
wants to
shut
go
the
right
fuck
ahead.
up and let me have a minute with you if you let me talk. Now, I know the method that proves things and disproves things. It's called the scientific method in natural science. You guys are saying this is incorrect. You don't prove things. So I'd like to hear your method where you only falsify things. Go.
It's exactly the same method, only you're misinterpreting what it does.
So you have in your method, you have a null hypothesis and an alternate hypothesis. Then, correct? This is a yes or no question.
It's not a yes or no question because you're asking the wrong question.
You have an alternate and a null hypothesis in your method.
What you've done is you've shown that one is definitely false and the other one is
false. I don't know why so many words are coming out of your mouth right now.
Yeah,
because you're not asking a yes or no question. You're asking
Do
a
you
very
have
philosophical
an
question.
alternate?
This is
a yes
philosophical.
or no question.
It is
Do
not a
you
yes
have
or
an
no
alternate
question.
and a null hypothesis when
It's
you do your
not-
science?
Yes, usually.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
disprove
However,
your
it does
null,
not-
that
you
doesn't prove your alternate.
God, that took forever.
Hold on. So
I know.
okay. So go ahead, Jeremy.
So you have an alternate and a null hypothesis in your method, correct?
Yep. You disprove your null, what happens?
And then at the end, when you're done, you've validated one of them, correct?
No, you've disproved
No,
your null. You
disproven
either
one.
have or have not disproven your null hypothesis. You have not
And what
proven your alternate.
What about if you don't? Okay. What if you don't disprove the null? Then what happens?
Well, then
Well,
your
then you have
fucking
a bad
hypothesis
experiment.
failed.
Yeah, you have a bad experiment.
You couldn't have validated your alternate hypothesis? That's
No,
not an
you
option?
can't prove it.
This is high level
Jesus.
philosophy
Validate
here.
your alternate. So you're telling
I'm
me you
surprised you
can't.
guys don't get into this one because this is
Yeah.
really
You're telling
this
me
is
you
high
can't-
level stuff.
So you're
Jeremy,
telling me you can't validate.
Can I ask a question?
So you're telling me you can't validate your alternate hypothesis?
Correct. You can make it consistent. You can have results that are consistent with it, but you can't prove it.
So
Can
you
I
can't
ask
validate your alternate hypothesis. That's your
Correct.
claim.
You can't prove it.
You're gonna
You can't
be
prove
in the
it.
next numpty clip on this one.
I'm sure I am.
All right,
You
so
are.
I have a question. then.
Let me read this
I
real
have-
quick before we move off of this. The null hypothesis states that a population parameter. Now this is for statistics. It's written for, but we can discuss if it still holds true. The null hypothesis states that a population parameter, such as mean, standard deviation, and so on, is equal to a hypothesized value. The alternative hypothesis states that a population parameter is smaller, greater, or different than the hypothesized value in the null hypothesis. So, reading between the lines there, if the null hypothesis isn't affirmed, then the alternative hypothesis would be affirmed. Is that correct or
Yes.
No,
Yes.
that's not correct.
Why not?
That
Because
is
that's what this
absolutely
says in
100
black and fucking white right here.
No, your null hypothesis is, if I do nothing, nothing's going to change, right? Your alternate
No.
is anything but that,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
you've
if
just
my null
disproved your null. That's all you've
hypothesis
done.
is disproven, that means my alternative hypothesis was affirmed. Correct?
If your alternative hypothesis is simply the opposite of your null hypothesis, yes.
It's smaller, greater,
But that's
or
not
different.
often-
Different. So if the value I
Yeah,
get is different than the null hypothesis, then the alternative hypothesis is affirmed. Correct?
Yeah, it depends what if your
Yes.
alternative
Just stop
hypothesis
it, yes.
proposes.
No,
It
it's not that
depends what
easy.
your alternative is. If your
See, this is the
alternative
problem when
is
you
just
stop at
not
sixth
the
grade.
null,
Give me an
question.
example of one that's written like that then, where you can't, the null hypothesis isn't affirmed and then the alternative hypothesis isn't affirmed.
No,
Because
you
that's
do it.
what this says in black and white right here. So
Yeah.
you show
It depends
me.
how you define your alternative. If your alternative is just not the null, as in I did nothing and nothing changed, then yes, it proves it. But what have you proved?
Yeah,
Nothing.
you did nothing.
You haven't proven the cause of anything.
Okay, if you have your hypothesis saying that heat causes water to boil,
Yeah.
and then I add heat and manipulate the heat, and the water doesn't boil, I validated my null hypothesis. If it does boil, you validated your alternate hypothesis.
I need these things written down, by the way. I'm really shit at
So
this.
then I take water and I put it into a vacuum chamber and I leave the temperature the same but reduce the pressure and it boils.
Okay, and there's still
That
heat, right?
Still doesn't disprove
No,
that
there's
heat
no
boils
heat.
Is there
water.
still
No,
heat?
you haven't applied heat.
So
No,
you get rid of the
water
heat?
boils without
still
heat.
boil water, so that
Water
is
boils
still
So you
without
got-
heat, though.
No,
So you got
you
rid
can
of heat?
you can apply
Hold on,
heat.
Paige, hold on a second. You got rid of the heat?
There's no
You can
heat.
apply heat a million
Get rid of the
times,
heat.
and water will boil a million
Get
times.
rid of the heat.
To prove something, to
Paige,
prove
ask
your
the show, how'd you
hypothesis.
get rid of the heat?
I reduced the I reduced the pressure in the chamber and it boiled.
So we're at absolute zero right here with no heat.
No, we're not absolute zero. We're
So there's heat.
Just reduce pressure.
So there's heat.
no increased heat is what you're saying is more heat.
Okay, hold on, real
above
quick.
room temperature. So I'm eating it. I mean,
That's
when you
not
say
what he
heat,
said. He didn't say increased heat or above room temperature. All he
that's
said
what he
was
said.
heat.
When
he
you
never
he
said
said
that.
put
No,
heat in and
it
it boiled.
wasn't. He never said that.
Oh,
He-
please,
yeah, heat,
stop it.
just
Oh
heat.
yeah, come on. That's pretty
Stop it.
disingenuous.
You know what you're
Listen,
freaking
we
talking
talked
about.
about this a couple of weeks
Oh
ago.
my
Let me
God,
just
but
try
there
to
will still be heat
let me
there.
just try to reiterate just
Oh,
real quick.
effing
Hold on, just real quick.
effing God.
Just real quick.
He said he put heat to it and it boiled, which means he
I
heated
thought
it up.
earlier that science proves how fast gas moves.
Science can't
Where was
prove
you at
anything.
on
Whatever. You guys don't know.
Why-
You
why
guys
didn't you
don't
tell
know how
Ruppers
science
that
works.
science
Just straight
don't
up.
prove
I don't know how
You-
science
you-
works.
You don't know how
That's funny.
science works, and you're here fucking claiming that you do, and it's
That
ridiculous.
is fine. No, you're talking about what you're talking about here is you're talking about high level philosophical stuff.
It's not
what can you
No, we're
prove?
talking about science.
This is
not
absolutely
philosophy.
This is philosophy
Absolutely
here.
not.
You cannot
Did you
prove
just
anything.
listen to
Only
it?
philosophy is how to
This is
interpret what you
biased
see with your eyes. That's all this comes down to.
Biased
See,
philosophy.
I'm
the end
surprised
of
you
the
guys haven't
day-
latched onto this because I'm
At
surprised
the
you
end
haven't
of the
latched
day,
onto this because this is
you
really high
guys are
level.
looking
This
at
is
your
right down your
vision
alley for
like it's
a lot of
Earth
science nerds
curves.
will latch onto this one saying,
Is
"Well, I can't
Effie
prove anything,
Dogma
so
still
you
there?
can't prove anything."
Is
No,
Effie
I
Dogma
actually
still there?
agree. I actually
I still
agree
have
with
a
the Bollards
question.
on this.
Outstanding question, please.
I want to
It's
ask
just
Effie
that's not what
Dogma a
they've been
question.
saying.
You're behind me with my question. Okay, so the story goes either Paid or Ruhif, if you want to affirm or deny. The story goes that many years ago, the philosopher Aristotle saw a boat disappear beyond the horizon. His alternative hypothesis was that the Earth was curved. Are you familiar with that story?
Silence.
That's
What
not
do you
even
mean?
a
They
hypo-
saw a boat disappear over the horizon?
No.
That's not even a valid hypothesis.
Okay, hold on. We can look up many references to Aristotle making the claim that he deduced that the Earth was curved because he watched a ship disappear beyond the horizon. His hypothesis was that it was because the Earth was curved. Are you familiar with that story?
Yep, you can see that today. Oh, no, wait a minute.
No,
Yes, you can.
no. That is okay.
Sure you can.
That is not my question. My question is, are you familiar with the origin of that story, which is that Aristotle made that inference based on his observation? That's all I'm asking you. Is it a yes or no? Are you familiar with that?
I've heard it.
Okay. Are you comfortable to accept it as reality, as true? That's what he did?
There's a story. Yeah, it's a good story. I
Okay,
mean,
what-
do I have absolute
okay,
proof
okay, hold
that
on,
it
I have a
happened?
question. I have
Do I have
another
absolute
question.
proof that it happened? I mean, do I
I
have someone with
another
a
question.
video camera and
I
post it
have
on
another
YouTube? No.
question. I have another question. What was his null hypothesis?
When you're doing natural science, you have to have an alternate and a null hypothesis.
What was
That's how it
his
works.
null? We're only told that he hypothesized. We aren't given all the rest of the details. Shouldn't he have a null hypothesis? And how did he disprove
Absolutely.
it?
You can't
How
do
did he
natural
disprove it?
science without a null and an alternate hypothesis. Otherwise,
So
hold
then, So then, now all we're left with is a theory that it's possible that the reason why you can't see ships hull down because of Earth curve, that's just a theory. There is an alternative. There is an alternative explanation for that observation.
Oh, what is that? The Aether Band?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, well, you don't have any proof of the Aether Band other than it looks that way, do you?
No, I have tons of proof. I can demonstrate it all day long.
Wait, did you hear what he just said, though, Travis? You don't have any proof
I
other
laughed.
than it looks that
Yeah.
way.
I laughed.
Ships
when he
over
said
the
it, I was like, oh
horizon,
my
you
God.
fucking dumbass. How do you?
Well, that's just the first one. That's just the first of the proofs.
Right.
It just looks that way.
It's all optical.
We don't need to discuss any others. We're just discussing this one.
just
We
said-
have an
You
observation.
guys just said that science don't prove things. Now you're saying that's the first of the proof.
There's a difference.
He's
oh,
finally
my
getting
God.
it. It just
He's
looks
finally
that
getting
way.
it. I know it. It does look that way. No. What? So you're saying that? So you explain it by some sort of magic and incantation aether band.
No, it's not magic. It's not magic. It's pure
It has
physics.
to be equal. It has
Oh,
to at least
please,
be equal
physics.
in fucking.
You don't know anything about physics.
Okay,
You-
that's
where's-
a claim.
where's
Can
your math?
you back up your claim, please?
Well, yeah, you think the aether band's real with no proof. With
So
no
you
math.
don't believe that atmospheric optics is real?
Atmospheric optics, as you describe it? No. Sorry.
I describe atmospheric optics the same way you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You use it to deny the fact that the Earth is curved.
Okay, when I refer to the aether band on my channel, I say if you have a problem with my term aether band, it is the same thing as atmospheric optics.
Which
Do you have a
displays
problem
the
with?
sun going.
Do you have a
the sun
problem with
going-
atmospheric? Do you have a problem with atmospheric optics?
As you describe it, yes.
Okay, my description of atmospheric optics is the same as yours.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I have a question then for you, Paid. Is it your position that the limit of the mirage forms the horizon?
The limit of the mirage? No, the horizon is real.
Okay, Andrew Thomas Young, who is Rumpus's go-to for astronomical refraction, makes that claim that the limit of the mirage is the cause of the apparent horizon, which is what I've been saying from the very beginning.
Can I ask a question real quick?
I have another question for you, Paid. Is it your opinion that the mirage can obstruct objects that are behind the mirage?
Opinion. Interesting use of words.
Do you believe that the mirage obstructs
It's not a belief.
objects that are behind it?
No, what mirage are you talking about?
Do you
He hasn't looked at
believe
half the
that
images you
a mirage? Do you believe
Mirage.
that a
You
mirage,
keep using this word. They keep on using this word like it's
an
fake. Like it's a
inferior
mirage.
mirage, an inferior mirage?
It's not an inferior mirage. The horizon is not an inferior
Okay,
mirage.
Andrew Thomas Young, in the same paper, just 2 paragraphs later, says that it has been known since at least the 1800s that mirages obstruct objects that are behind it.
Not all the time.
That's not his qualification. He says, and
Oh,
now
you're,
when
just
you
saying,
say,
you're saying that a mirage happens all the damn time.
no, I did not say that.
No, basically that's what you're saying.
No, I did not say that. I'm asking you questions. No, I haven't
any.
made any claims except for
Of
the
course
fact
not.
that
You can't make any claims.
Okay, I haven't made any claims except for the fact that Andrew Thomas Young is the source for substantiating a claim that I've already made on my own based on my observations.
Can I ask a question? I'd like to ask a
Okay,
question.
so
Whoever's
you're in
talking is
disagreement.
very, very soft.
You're in
Okay.
disagreement with Andrew Thomas Young,
Well,
who
that's
is
fine.
a
I mean, you're going to sea line me all
outstanding
day on
PhD.
this, aren't you? Yeah, well, yeah. You only take PhDs when they support your view, interestingly.
Oh no. I was making these claims before I read his paper.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And what else does he say about your aether band concept? Does he know about it? Because you haven't published it.
What's your point?
Well, your point is that you have...
No. Don't tell me what my
Explain.
point is. I said, what is
Yeah.
your point? So you should say,
My
my
point
point
is-
is.
My point is that you're full of shit. There.
Oh,
That's
no,
it.
you're full of shit. Are we going to do this?
No, let's not.
Well, he's saying it.
Let's
He's
give Tony
saying
a
that if
chance.
it's
Wow,
not published,
NASA, really?
No,
I just
I'm
have
just
one
wondering
question
how
you
come
guys
you're
have.
here talking
he's
about
saying that
physics
if it's not
when your
published,
background
it
is in
ain't
biblical
true.
studies. When you have a background in biblical studies, why are you here talking about physics?
Because I have a brain.
So Einstein had nothing until he published his paper. If he hadn't have published a paper, it would never have been true.
Einstein was
So
pretty
knowledge
smart.
of knowledge of the Bible, and knowledge of physics, they're mutually exclusive, are they, Shill?
The question is, do you
No,
guys
they're
think you're
not. However,
smarter
in
than
this case, they
Einstein?
are.
Tony V, you got a question?
That's a matter of
Yeah, I was just wondering,
opinion.
Travis, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. I'd just like to know if ether band means optical, atmospheric, optical, whatever. Why make up the word ether band?
Because I'm economical. Atmospheric optics is 6 syllables. Ether band is 3.
What's the difference again?
3 syllables.
That's it. No, I mean the actual scientific difference, not just the letters difference.
There's
I mean,
no
like, what's
difference
the
scientifically. There's no difference.
There's no. This isn't science,
then
by the
why
way.
the
This
hell
isn't.
Travis's-
This isn't
Travis's
natural
definition. Travis's definition is more sustainable. It's less syllables. They're more
What?
sustainable.
Oh, more. Oh, yeah. Okay. Whatever.
This also isn't natural science right here, by the way. But
Is it?
well,
There's no like.
let me say
nothing to
something
back it.
about. Yeah, I agree with Jeremy. I believe that's Jeremy. But
yeah, this is
when you go back to the hypothesis
What are you backing it with, Travis?
of Aristotle,
James is talking, Tony.
With the boats going over the curve, that hypothesis, you said there was no null, or you asked him what is the null. There isn't one.
There isn't one.
But
it's not even a valid.
Sorry. Let me finish.
Yeah.
I just want people to picture standing on an infinite chessboard. When you look out, there's going to come a point where there's no more squares. And they didn't go over a curve. So you do have a horizon on a flat plane, and things will disappear from the bottom up. That's why you don't see the squares.
Sorry. How does the
You
sun
can-
do it when it's 30 arc minutes big, please?
First of all,
We're talking about terrestrial observations paid, not celestial.
This is a terrestrial observation of a celestial
I'm
object.
talking about looking up in the sky.
So you
I'm
can't explain
talking
the
about
sun. You
looking
can
at-
explain boats now, right?
No, we're not following you down your red herring.
It's not a red
The
herring.
only
sun
thing
is
I
big. It's 30 arc
said-
minutes big.
It's a red herring.
Let me finish what
No,
I
it's not.
said. Let me just.
Disprove
What I
your
said
infinite.
is.
Hey, can you tell me where the 30 arc
All I
minutes
said
is?
is this could happen on a flat plane. That's all I was getting at. Things at a distance would disappear from the bottom up on a flat plane. That's
Yeah,
what I
you
was
don't need
getting
an
at. That's
infinite.
it.
Let me just add on to what you said, James. You don't even need an infinite chessboard. Go put your eyeball down to a regular chessboard diagonally,
Right.
and you can almost see the last square getting blocked by no physical obstruction.
Right, and that's why we don't look at things parallel to our vision. We look at things like lighthouses and mountains and ships, which are perpendicular to our line of sight.
Oh,
I've said this 10 times, and you
that
still
is
fuck it
such
up.
a stupid statement. I got to tell you that. Anytime you're
you're
looking
not
out
even-
over the
you're not even
earth, you're
talking
looking
about
out
what I was
parallel
saying.
to the surface
So
of the
just
earth.
Ruhef, just to clarify, you mean you're looking at things in the distance that have elevation?
Yeah, that have like a
Well, your damn
vertical
chess
angle.
pieces
Wow,
on the
wow,
board, and
wow.
that'll represent your mountains
Wow,
and hills
dude,
and shit.
dude.
No, they
At the
don't,
end-
because they're
At the
parallel
end of
to
the
your line
day,
of sight.
do you increase the angle to things when you increase your height? Yeah, you do, just like the chessboard example. So quit with your
Is this
fucking
photo
bullshit.
data again? This data? Send me a like a 1-page PDF of your so-called maths on a DM.
Listen, I have a little bit more
Later.
detailed
You
explanation.
would also see in a circle.
In my book, I have
We
more
can all agree
detailed
with this.
explanation. So, Effie Dogma, are you there, buddy? I got a question to ask
Do you have something short, data? Something short that you can send me,
Yeah,
data?
I'm here.
Hey, bro. So you think there's a ball, right? And the
I know
horizon,
it's a ball.
you know it's a ball. Okay, so describe to me the convergence of the eye. Tell me what that's about.
Angular resolution, basically.
It is, right? So for a
2020 vision has angular resolution of about 0.17 degrees.
it's basically 0.16, but at the end of the day, you can have 0.42 arc minutes, you can have 0.007. There's all kinds of calculations to interpret
Well,
the
we all
maximum.
have different levels of eyesight. My eyesight's getting worse as I get older.
Awesome. So let me ask you this: if there's an observer standing there, and I've got a big dump truck of dirt in front of me, and it's below my neutral point of my eye, and as I move away, you're going to lose resolution of that dirt as it moves away from you, and it's going to move up into your neutral point of the eye, right?
What are you talking? You have no idea how vision works. You and Lemon Bird have the same bullshit on how.
Again, I've been saying this for like 4 or 5 years, dude. So, Lemon Bird, I appreciate everything he has to say as well. At the end of the day, this is not new shit.
You've been saying this for 2 years, but you haven't produced equation.
Yeah. Again, it's all good. If Effie Dogma wants to respond, that would be great.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, so you're looking at the dirt pile move away from you, and as it moves away from you, it's going to start to blur, right? You're not going to see the dirt clearly. It's going to blur and move up to your neutral point of the eye.
Well, let's look at it this way. You've had an eye test, right?
So you're going to answer my question, or are you going to straw man me?
Well, I'm not straw man. I'm just going to explain this a little bit different. You've had an eye
I
test.
offered
where
you.
you-
yes or no. It's a yes or no answer.
I offered you a question, looking for a response, not another scenario. So if you can oblige me,
Well, I'm
if you can
saying
oblige
yes.
me and follow the line of questioning, that would be great. Because all I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get you.
Hypocrite data.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Data,
get
what I'm
you
trying to do
to
is just
acknowledge.
simplify this to get
I'm
to
trying
the
to get you
point.
to acknowledge the function of our vision along with the diffraction limit.
Yeah,
Okay?
as things go farther away, details are more difficult to see.
Yeah, what
if
causes
I
it?
see a sign on a truck, I can read it easily when it's close. As it goes farther away, pretty soon I can't read the letters, but I can still see the sign.
Okay. The ground.
So we can zoom in on the sun. My God.
The ground that the dirt is on, as it moving away from you, it appears to rise into the neutral point of the eye, right?
Yeah.
Does it really rise?
No.
Awesome. So 2 points between two observers, if they're looking off into the horizon, but they're about 4 miles apart or 3 miles apart, wherever the apparent convergence is for the eye, is the floor rising between those two observers, or is it only appearing to rise between those two observers?
As I said before, it appears to rise to your eye level. If you
Welcome
have
to
your
Flat
eye
Earth.
level,
Welcome to
everything
Flat Earth.
below-
Welcome to
if
Flat
you
Earth.
have your-
Between two observers, FE dogma, if it's appearing to rise but it isn't rising, it means it's an optical effect based on our angular resolution. Would you agree?
I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
The rising of the ground, it only appears to rise. So if we have two observers looking at each other 3 to 4 miles apart, both observers are observing the ground appearing to rise between them. Do you follow?
Yes, I understand.
Awesome. You understand.
get
Great.
to the
So
point.
we know the point is the ground is not converging between these two observers, and the ground isn't rising between these two observers. It's parallel between the two observers, and our angular resolution is producing the horizon. Do you follow now?
No, it doesn't produce the horizon.
Thank you,
Okay.
Einstein.
So are you following
Yeah,
the
it
line
does.
of thinking? The ground is only appearing to rise. Listen, gentlemen, whether you like it or not, and how painful it might be to swallow, the ground is only appearing to rise between the two observers.
Yeah.
It's not rising. It's parallel. Do you understand? Between
Thank
the
you,
ground.
Einstein.
Yeah.
What
So the
is
earth
we
is
understand
flat.
perspective.
Thank you very
We
much.
understand
It's flat.
perspective.
Welcome to Flat Earth, guys.
Answer the question.
What does that have to do with flat Earth? Why wouldn't the ground on a globe do the same thing?
Okay, so what's causing your ground to rise in your model?
Same perspective.
Oh, perspective is but perspective isn't causing the ground to rise. It's only appearing to. Gentlemen, your geometrical model says it's a physical Earth curve rising. Do you understand your? Do you understand your paradox?
Where does our model say that it's physical Earth curve that is rising?
You brought him to my. You brought him to my.
Rising, actually rising.
Before it blocks boats and buildings.
So hold on, Travis. You brought him to my super chat earlier, right? That was well said too, by the way. Because shit, now I lost my train of thought. The two observers, the ground is not arising, it only appears to rise.
Yeah, same as on a globe, right?
Well, no.
Do you understand? Do you understand, Ruhif?
We don't
It only
make claims
appears to
about what
rise.
happens on a globe.
Then let me finish. Then he said, well, you understand how that could happen on a sphere, right? So my super chat earlier was, how is it that a sphere can have the properties of flatness, but flatness cannot have the properties of a sphere?
There is a predictable, measurable angle down to the horizon that can't exist on a flat Earth.
Agreed with him that you didn't agree with him about the shape of the Earth, but you agreed with his point of view, which was honest of you. So that was my
viewing
point.
angle.
That deduces the fact that it is flat because the sphere does not have properties of flatness. Neither does flatness have properties of a sphere.
Yeah, and how can we distinguish between the two?
That have to do with perspective.
Again, the ground is rising in your Earth curvature.
Use a water level, Ruhif.
Effie
Come on,
dogma.
page.
Look at any Earth curvature calculator. It's
serious,
going to
though.
have an
I'm
arc or a
dead serious.
saggita, which is
Yeah, and you
not
keep
based in
asserting that
perspective.
Guys,
a water
don't
level
talk
is
over the
horizontal.
conversation. I can't hear all of four of you.
It appears that you don't understand the paradox for the simple reason that you're quantifying the ground to rise as Earth curve when that's not reality. The ground isn't rising because of Earth curve, gentlemen. That's why between
I
two
have never said that. So don't put words into my
again,
mouth.
you
It's the
believe the
same
Earth.
perspective calculation.
Again, you're quantifying optics for physical Earth curve, and that's not reality. The ground is not rising; it's only appearing to rise. So, two observers with 2 points farther distances apart will always see a convergence point based on optics, not Earth curve. Nice
Yeah,
try.
and what does
It
that
doesn't
have to
work.
do with the shape
No,
of
it's
the
Earth curve. Earth curve is definitely there. The horizon is
again,
definitely there.
Again, the
Physical
horizon
is
is
actually there. That's why the boats disappear from the bottom top. That's why the sun goes
The
down.
horizon is
That's why the moon
created
rises.
by
You're
refraction.
The
destroying
horizon
something.
is an apparent. The
No, it
horizon
hasn't
is
been
an
destroyed.
apparent location.
It's correct.
It
But the
cannot be
physical horizon is a
located.
necessary
It's
antecedent
apparent.
to right.
It's not
Necessary antecedent
physical.
There
is
is no such thing as a physical horizon.
Yep, there is. It's a necessary
you mean by
antecedent
that,
for
Travis?
There's
the
not.
optical.
Nope,
Yes,
there's
it is.
not.
Page
Totally.
Show, can you
Yes.
give me the
Hello.
definition of a horizon, please? There's only two
Oh,
in the
yeah,
known
but
dictionary. There's
I'll
only
give
two
you one.
definitions in the known dictionary. What are they?
I'll give you one. It's the last drop of water that you can see.
The horizon
The
is the
most
last
distant drop of
water.
water.
You can see. Yeah,
Yep, the
but
most
based on your
distant drop of water
based
you
on
can
your
see.
angular resolution, which at the
No,
point
not
creates
based
a
on
Incorrect.
banding.
resolution.
It creates a
Why can
banding
I
and a
see further
diffracting
from a
point.
height?
That's
Why can I
exactly what a vanishing point is in the
Why can
horizon
I see
line. It's the
further when I get
diffraction
so
limit
higher?
of light. It's your maximum angular resolution to the ground from the light bouncing off the object.
Why
to
can
your
I see
eye creates a
further?
banding.
Angles widened.
And then it
No,
compresses
that's not
into its
correct.
neutral point.
That's not
It
correct.
compresses
I've
into a
seen
neutral
further.
point
I can
because
see
we see in
neutral
cone
point.
vision.
What the fuck is a neutral point? Would someone please explain
So-
to me how vision works according
Do you
to
know?
you?
Do you know what a neutral point is?
Not in your eye. I want
There's
to
no
know what the
neutral point in your
physical.
eye. You don't have a focal point, bud.
Oh, focal point. You said
Instead of
neutral
saying
point.
neutral point,
Is your
yeah.
focal point the
If you
neutral
look at
point
the
of the eye?
ground,
A neutral? What? No,
if you
a
look at the
neutral.
ground
What do you mean
where
by
your feet
neutral?
are,
What
Why
part
can't
of
I
the
call
eye
it
is that
focal
focal
point then?
point in?
Because it sounds better when he says neutral point. He can confuse people because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking
So
about.
when the ground rises,
When did you
it appears
study
to
vision, by
rise-
the way?
It appears to rise at the
Yeah.
neutral point of the eye. That's where your focal point
To the
can be
focal
as well.
point of the eye? It appears to
the
rise to
neutral
the focal
point-
point of the eye?
It appears
So if
to
I
rise
look
to
up,
the
I
neutral
can't
point
see
of
the
eye, yeah.
horizon.
If you can't
yeah,
look up,
if you
you
look at
still
your
have a focal
feet
point.
while you're standing on the ground, if you look at your feet, the only way you're going to see the horizon is what direction do you have to turn your head?
So this is the old everything rises to eye level bullshit.
gotta
and
turn
it's
it
said differently, right?
Yeah.
No, that's
The most
wrong.
Is it
recent
said
estimated
differently?
estimated
Is it?
Why would you think
He
your
asked you
head
a
rise to
question.
eye
He
level?
asked a
Your
simple
feet.
question.
Because on a flat Earth it should, Page. Geometrically it
But
should.
no, because
How do
your
you know
feet.
what's
Okay,
happened on a flat
where's
Earth?
the horizon? Where's the horizon, Ruhif? Is it at ground level?
On a flat Earth? Flat Earth or a globe?
And where are your eyes? Are they above your feet?
So I still want to be
Why
explained why.
wouldn't there be a drop, Ruhif, between
Why
your
would
eyes
there
and
be?
your feet?
The further you look, the closer it approaches zero. The angle approaches
Ruhif,
zero
why
on a flat Earth.
wouldn't there be a drop when at ground level your feet and the horizon are at the same level, but your
Yes.
eyes are above?
Right?
So of course there's
And
a
the
drop
further you-
down
Oh,
to
six-
the
6
The
feet.
horizon.
further you look,
6
the further
feet
you
drop,
look,
right?
the closer that angle approaches zero.
That's not the
That-
point, Nessa.
That
It
is
is the
exactly
point.
the point.
It is
Ruhif,
the
you're saying
point.
it
Eyeballs
should
on your
never-
That's exactly the
tippy toes.
point.
No, he's saying
Hey, if you
that
put
on
your
a flat
eyeballs
Earth,
on your
it would
tippy
rise to
toes,
eye
the
level.
boat goes
But
over
no,
the
because
curve
the horizon
sooner.
is at your feet. And your
Yes,
eyes are
it
at your eye
approaches
level.
zero.
So there's always a difference.
But the difference
literally-
between that is
literally
6 feet where you're
mathematically
standing.
proved this to Brandon.
Hey, I've got a question
No,
for
you
you
can't.
guys. I want to kind of ask you a question that I just thought of, if you don't mind. First of all, Godzilla 37, $5. Dishonesty has now become the default global defense. Thank you
Cool,
very
champ.
much, Godzilla. All right, I should still be sharing my screen. Can you guys see it in Discord?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, this is just a little lame diagram.
Did I
and you guys
prove
can help me-
mathematically to you that the horizon should approach eye level on a flat Earth?
Let me
Brandon?
think through this. Help me think through this real quick here, okay? So
We agree
if,
it approaches.
If, I'm
Yes.
standing here.
Excellent.
Can you guys hear me talking still?
Guys, the host,
So what happens on the
Hey,
road?
can you guys hear me?
Paige and
Can you
Ruhi
guys
are
hear me
the host.
speaking right now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Brandon. Sorry.
That's all right. So if I'm standing here, let's say I'm standing here. Here's the ground underneath me, moving away from me. I'm looking in this direction. Here is,
I can't
let's say,
see a cursor,
another
by the way.
ground on top of me, a ceiling per se. And I'm looking out in this direction. How many miles or kilometers or how far before it appears to me that the ceiling and the floor are touching each other? That's my question.
That would be a question of angular resolution. They would blur into one.
Yeah, so can anyone answer it for me?
Yeah, that would be. Oh, I can't do the maths for you right now.
Should we make a guess and say, Data, do you know that off the top of your head?
I've actually never calculated the hallway distance. I would think I'd have to do something. I haven't even tried to do it.
Well, let's just say
Yeah,
3
he maybe
miles
done it.
for shits and giggles right now.
So I know.
Hold on,
I know
I'm
by
not
the
done yet,
function
though.
of the eye.
But go
I was
ahead.
going to say by the function. I know by the function of the eye, smaller angles will produce faster convergence. You can force perspective. Architects love to force perspective, right? So in a hallway, you're forcing perspective, which means you're forcing an optical convergence. So 30 meters? I don't know. Let me do the math on that. 1 second.
All right. Well, just for argument's sake, we can figure out the exact number. I thought maybe somebody had it. Let's say 3 miles. Let's just say that.
I have it.
Argument's sake. Oh, go ahead.
A 6-foot person at 3 miles away would have an angular resolution of about 0.22 degrees, which is pretty close to the eye's resolution.
Okay, so it is about 3 miles.
0.22
3 miles, it
or
would look like the
0.02?
ceiling
Wait.
and the floor are touching each
That
other.
sounds
right.
That sounds an order of magnitude too big, by the way. Dogma?
Yeah. And Brandon, in your
0.02?
drawing, the floor would be appearing to rise up the eye level in that case.
Correct. It'll approach 0.
So what would be happening to this ceiling above us? What would that look like?
Well, don't you
stays at eye
have
level.
the ceiling at your eye level?
Okay,
It stays at eye level.
Okay, all right. So
Well, the ceiling is at your head, so there would be a slight drop of the ceiling, but it would go down to eye level.
Just,
Okay, so-
I think we're assuming it's at eye level.
That's fine. So
let's assume it's at eye
just
level.
say let's just say at 3 miles, they appear to converge, right? So what would happen if I put a stop sign down here in the hallway at 10 miles away, a bright red stop sign? What would I see when I look down here?
Yeah,
That'd be
blur.
the same
You'd blur
height.
the.
What would I see?
If it's past the angular resolution, it'd be a blur between the ceiling, the stoplight, and the floor.
So would I see it?
Oh,
How big is
you'd
your
see a
stop
mixture.
Does it matter? You said at 3
Yeah.
miles that these two are converging and appearing to touch each other. This is at 10 miles,
Yeah,
7
it's a
miles
blur.
beyond that point. So what do I see?
Yeah, it'd be a blur between the thing.
So the math says that anything around 6 feet will be blurred, so you wouldn't be able to see it.
No.
Yeah.
You pull
I'll
out a
give you the
camera,
math.
Then
which
the
has a
I'll give you
bigger
the math.
I'd really
I'll
like
give you the
the
math.
baller
I'll give you
to
the math.
answer
I'll give you
this
the math.
question.
It will be totally
0.007 times 3.14 divided by 180 times by 10 miles will give you 6.44 feet of an Ari's blurred disk. This is based on the maximum angular resolutions from a Physics Britannica channel. You can go research yourself.
No
Yeah,
idea
we're
what that
fine with the
means, but
actual
I want to
formula.
know, describe to me, Effie Dogma or Ruhif, what this stop sign 10 miles away is going to look like in this case.
I would
Blurred
need
between the
to know how big
surroundings.
your stop sign is.
Okay, the stop sign
assuming
is
it's
all,
beyond the
it's all
limit.
6 feet. It's 6 feet tall.
Yeah, assuming it's beyond the limit, whatever the limit is, it will appear as a blur to whatever's around it.
What do you mean a blur? Because right here at 3 miles, it's looking like the ceiling and the floor are touching. So that means that there's
Right.
essentially a line in the middle, right? I don't see the space in between them anymore. This is at 10
But
miles,
there's still a
7
blur
miles
between the
beyond
ceiling and
that
the floor.
point. So that would have to
Yeah.
get even smaller and fit within that spot where it feels to be touching, that little hair where it appears to be touching. That stop sign would be condensed down into that. Would I see this stop sign at all? If I look down that hallway 10
would see-
miles,
yeah,
would
listen,
I know that there's a
I've said it
stop
5
sign at
times.
the end of the 10 miles?
No,
I've said
something
it
right
5
there.
times. You will see a blur between the stop sign and whatever is around it.
I will see a
I think
blur.
the stop sign would be below your eyes.
You'll see a blur. It would be unresolvable.
Oh, okay. Would I see the stop sign, Effie Dogma?
Oh, you'll
At
see a
10
blur,
miles.
Brandon.
Shut the
Jesus.
fuck up, Ruhif. Is your name Effie
Well,
Dogma?
I've answered the question 6
God
times.
damn, shut the fuck up. Effie Dogma. Would I see
Kick
the
your ass,
stop
Brandon.
sign at the end of the 10-mile highway or hallway?
If your stop sign is 6 feet, The angular resolution at 10 miles would be 0.0065 degrees, which would be below your eye's resolution.
So it would
So you
disappear as far as I was
would not
concerned.
see
No, it doesn't disappear. I knew you'd do it,
If
Brandon.
I
knew you'd
can't
say
see
doesn't
it with
disappear.
my eyes, and it looks like the ceiling and the floor are touching at 3 miles, and this is condensed in between those two, I will not see this fucking stop sign, Ruhif. You can double talk it, and you can dance around it as much as you want. This stop sign, for all intents and purposes, will not be visible to me, correct?
No, it will be blurred.
You're so full of shit.
This is how it works, Brandon. This is how it works.
Unbelievable, Ruhif. I mean, you're just displaying your dishonesty for the whole world to see.
That's really bad. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's just like a
That's
flashing
really
red
bad, Ruhif.
light for everyone to witness right now.
This is how the Rayleigh criterion works.
I hope
there
you're
are 2
recording
point sources.
Well, if it's flashing red light, you definitely see it.
After shows, Brandon.
Oh, I'm recording this.
If
All
there are
right,
2
this is
point
part of the
sources,
show.
yeah,
Don't
this is live,
double
right?
down, Ruhif.
Yeah,
Just
we're live.
don't.
Right?
No, let him
Yeah.
talk. Let him keep talking. Keep
Yeah.
going, Ruhif. Tell us
Yeah,
more
if there are
about
2
what this
point
would look like.
sources, if there are 2 point sources of light, so one's a stop sign and one's, something above the stop sign, whatever. If the angle between those is less than the Rayleigh criterion, those 2 point sources will merge together. So you'll get red and whatever the color of the other thing is. It will blur. That's how it works.
Could I tell that that's a stop sign 10 miles away?
Probably not. You wouldn't have the resolution, right?
Probably not. Do you even need to qualify that statement?
I'd say no then. All right. You wouldn't be able to tell.
Thank you very much. Because
see-
at
you see
3
red
miles,
pixels.
Pulling teeth.
I can't
pulling
even
teeth.
see the difference. I can't even see the
He didn't
space
even-
between the
he didn't
ceiling and
even
the floor.
ponder the thought. He didn't even ponder the idea that he knew the stop sign was 10 miles away, right? Because you told him. But if it was actually 10 miles away and nobody told him, he would never see it.
Would have no clue
would
there's a
never
stop
even
sign
know
down there, right, James?
Yeah, but it
He
hasn't
didn't even ponder
disappeared.
that thought.
It hasn't disappeared.
That variable.
If you can't see something, Ruhif, is
You
it
can't
visible to
resolve
you?
it.
Is it
You can't
appearing
resolve
to
it.
you?
No. Disingenuous question, Brandon. You can't resolve it.
Ruhif is right.
You can't resolve it.
Ruhif is right. You can't
So
resolve
you can't
it. Pull
see
out your
it to
P900.
resolve it.
No, you can see it. You will have a blur between red and whatever else is next to it. There will be some red light coming to your eye. There will
You
also
can
be
see
the
it.
color of whatever
No,
light's
there
next
won't,
to it.
Ruhif,
Determined in
because
your
the
brain,
sky and the
and
ground
you'll
have
be able
met
He's not
3
listening.
miles away.
Ruhif.
So you
It
have
will
basically got...
go into a. Sorry, Paige.
No, sorry, I was just going to say it's basically a wall. Like where the horizon is, where the sky and ground meet, that creates like a wall that you can't
No,
see
it
past.
doesn't. Is there a
does.
direct line of sight? Is there a direct line of sight from that observer to the stop sign? Yes.
I don't know. It's not my
Based
stop sign.
on Based on
Is
the
there a
angular
direct line of sight?
resolution,
Anyone can answer. Anyone can
Based
answer.
on
Is there a
I
direct
would
line of
assume
sight?
so.
Yes.
Based on-
Okay. So, Will, what's stopping the light from reaching you?
based on your angular
The,
resolution,
What's
you're
stopping the
going to
light
have
from
it.
reaching
amount
you?
you can see, the ability
is there a
of your
photon?
eyes.
Does the photon have a path to
Don't give
you?
a fuck what the photon's
Okay,
doing.
listen,
of course you don't.
these
That's
people,
how it
these
works.
people,
Can't
these
see
people
it,
are
too
stupid.
far away.
Rufif, what is the reason why I use 500 nanometers in my calculation with the 1.22 diffraction? What's the point of those calculations?
Because it worked out to
because
the,
it gives you the
it worked
answer.
out
Shut
to
up,
the figure you wanted it to work out.
Shut
to.
up, paid.
It
Actually,
doesn't work at
Data,
200,
Ruhif,
700. No?
Ruhif.
Yes,
Violet, ultraviolet, let you see even clearer, right? The point is,
He
Ruhif
needs to be able to see it because of the stars and stuff being so far away.
Ruhif.
But they need to still be
Yeah,
able to
when
see
you calculate a nanometer, what's the point of it? And the angle to that
What's
nanometer.
the point of
of it?
calculating a nanometer?
Yep,
That's a
we're using
nonsensical
optics. No, because each
What's the
wavelength of
point
light,
calculating it?
each wavelength of light have different properties, right, Ruhif?
Yeah. The radius of the Earth
that
is
is the
different in
wavelength,
different,
yeah.
I'm not
in
talking
different
to you,
frequencies.
Paige. I'm not talking to you.
Of course
Paige.
not, because I can totally disprove you. Because you.
Oh, you can't.
you-
Earth
you know,
is
yeah, it only
very
works.
flat.
Your
What
calculations.
junction?
Your calculators only
What
work at 500
causes your
nanometers.
parent- What? You want to use 666? We can devise it using
No,
I wanna
666.
use, like, I wanna
it's
use-
just easier to talk to. Why don't you just shush and let those guys talk to each other?
Yeah, can I get something in first? Because I've got to go in like 5 minutes. Data, is it Data? Yeah, Data. Can you please send me your calculations so that I can look at them later?
You can
Or
buy my
proof,
book.
whatever.
It's
Not going to buy a book.
So-
Just
you
send me
can buy-
one
so when
page.
you're
No,
barbecuing,
you can buy my book.
When you're
Can I,
barbecuing and you got
clarify?
that fly that just keeps nagging
Did you say
that
bye,
fly
Rayleigh?
while you're barbecuing. Yeah. You got a fly that keeps nagging you while you're barbecuing. Are you saying when that fly flies away from you and it disappears, you can no longer see it?
It hasn't disappeared. You just can't resolve it.
Because of the wavelength of light has an
Well, yeah,
oriented
that's what I'm
angle
saying.
to your eye.
Disappears.
You
Your
pat your
eyes
head.
can't see it. It
Can I
disappears
clarify
to
what
your
Ruhip
eye.
is saying?
Sure.
What
Are you going to
Ruhip
tell
is
us the
telling
difference
you is
between
that
not
the
being
light
able to
from
see
that
something
stop
and something
sign-
I
disappearing?
get it. Yeah, he's disappearing. Yeah, he's saying as if we're saying it's literally disappearing. That's not
No,
what we're
you're
saying,
about
Ruth.
to
It's
say,
still
"Oh, this is why things get."
Disappearing is the opposite of apparent. It's not
Yeah, it's just
some
not
magical
apparent.
trick. It's no
No,
longer
because you
apparent.
guys are about to say, "Oh, that's why things disappear bottom up," and it's not.
Did
you
we
just
say
can't
that?
resolve the
No,
fly.
the atmosphere has
You
to do
are.
with that too. There's more reasons for that as well.
But that wasn't my
Enjoy
point, was
Mirage.
it? I never said that. I never made that claim. And you're defending yourself against me eventually saying that and being ridiculous along the way.
Yeah, because you're going to say, I know you're going to say it.
So yeah, you were being ridiculous along the way. You were being obstinate because you thought I was going to trick you into a point when I asked you to help me think through something.
Because that's how you guys argue, fucking disingenuously.
And so you responded by being disingenuous when I asked you about
Rohit.
this.
No, I
Yes, you did.
responded
You just
by being
admitted to it.
correct. No, I did not.
You did.
You did just admit to it.
No, I didn't. I responded correctly.
You're
because
double
you guys
talking
were
like a
about to fucking
motherfucker
take it.
tonight,
Oh,
Ruhif.
yeah, we'll just accuse each other all night.
It's great. It's
Hey,
great.
Brandon, can I just make a point and clarify what Ruhif is saying?
Sure.
About that stop sign?
Sure.
What he is saying is that at that distance, you cannot resolve it. But the light
We know
from
that's
that
what he's
stop
saying.
sign, Paige, please be quiet for a moment.
Oh,
the light from the
fuck
stop sign
me.
is
You
still
made my
hitting.
headphones squeal when you did that. Can you not do that again, please?
Don't interrupt
Can
him, you
I
won't.
please finish my point? So Ruhif is saying the light from the stop sign is still hitting your eyes. You cannot resolve it. Pull out
Correct.
your P900. That stop sign is visible again.
Correct again.
Not if there's a high amount
No
of refraction.
You're
Or
saying
a
that
further
a
distance.
P900 would not be able to resolve the stop sign at 10 miles?
Okay, listen
it can.
very carefully. Listen very carefully. The atmospheric optics, which are dependent upon numerous variables like barometric pressure, air. Just let me answer the question, please. Okay, everybody waxes eloquent. Okay, just all those variables, right? If you have an object at, let's say, 5 miles away, that the refractive index is distorting, your camera can't undo the distortion. It'll take a picture. Okay, so there's your answer.
Oh.
That's what I said.
All I was doing was just at this basic level. I'm not adding in any refraction or other distortion.
That's your problem.
No.
Did you hear the answer? Because that was a good answer.
Because you're assuming that there's
God.
always going to be some atmospheric condition that would make
Okay,
it.
I'm sorry. Can you show me? Yeah, great. Can you please show me any photo that you would like
We're
to
not
produce?
showing you anything, Travis.
Shut the
Wait, Travis,
fuck up,
the
Ruhit.
answer was
That's
yes.
the way
He
you
said
always
you're
go.
assuming there's always going to be some atmospheric effect that's going to impact your long distance observations. The fucking A right we are.
Right, but I'm asking him now because the implicit opposite claim for him is that there are times when refraction doesn't do that. So all I'm going to say is, can you please show me something at 5 miles where there's zero refraction and no distortion and no displacement?
There's never zero refraction.
I'm not talking to you,
Never zero
fucking
refraction.
Ruhif. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking
Beautiful.
to Effie Dogma. Effie Dogma, do you think that there are ever conditions where refraction is so low there's no distortion or displacement?
There's always going to be a distortion over long distance due to
Okay,
refraction. but
I'm
it
good with
varies
that.
is all I'm
Then
saying.
Then I don't understand why you asked the question that you did.
Ask what question?
You don't even know the question you just asked me?
Well, you made a statement, Travis.
I think I made a statement. I didn't ask a question.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
to me, hold on. To me, there was an implicit question of incredulity, because I made the claim that refraction is going to distort. So then he made a statement that made it seem to me that he thought that there were times when that didn't happen.
I took it the same way by the tone.
Varies all the time. There's going to be times where it's so bad you wouldn't even be able to see 3 miles.
Great. Brandon, can you bring up that last picture I sent to you? Just the one single one, please. I have a question for the heliocentric panel.
Sure. There you go.
All right. So this is what my observation, one of the observation points that I make here on the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh God.
Where I set up right on the shoreline next to a posted no swimming, 5.5 feet. This house that is there in the off-center frame is 5.85 miles away. My question to you, gentlemen, is what's creating the limit to the water?
Yeah, we had this conversation the other day, Travis.
What's creating the limit to the water?
What do you mean by limit to the water? Do you mean the last blue water you can see?
All right. Effie Dogma, do you understand my question?
I don't see the angle of sight. Really
okay, James, I'm not talking to you, please. Effie Dogma, I didn't hear what you said.
I do not see the photo that you're talking about.
You need to click on Brandon's name. It says live. He's sharing his screen.
Let me go up there just a sec here.
All right.
It's Travis taking a photo of another inferior mirage.
Is paid here, paid's not here, okay? Okay, so
now I see it.
Okay, so at the bottom of the frame you can see water.
Yeah.
And then as you look up the frame, the water apparently comes to an end.
Well,
Why does it...
what I see is that there is a bit of an inferior mirage here.
I'm not asking you about the inferior mirage, sir.
Well,
I'm asking.
Don't be a cunt, Travis.
Okay. I'm not asking you.
There's water with an inferior mirage on top of it.
What is creating the limit to the water?
What do you mean the limit?
Please define the limit to the water.
Okay. Can you see water at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Understand your question.
Okay, great. I walked you through it earlier. Go to the bottom of the frame and you can see water.
Yeah.
Continue up the frame until you can no longer see water.
Yeah.
There's an apparent
mirage starts.
Okay, so my question to you is, what is creating the limit to the water? Why don't you see more water?
I'd probably say the bottom of the inferior mirage.
Okay, very, very good. Very good. Now, if we were to now back away 10 miles, 15 miles, and this inferior mirage is the cause of the limit of the water, and you're looking 10 miles away, what's creating the limit of the water there?
If there was an inferior mirage on it, it would be that. But how thick and angular is that inferior mirage?
No. So now, because we're staying with the same cause. The cause of the limit to the water at 5 miles is the cause to the limit of the water at 10 miles. And as I said, if we have the same photo, but we're backing up 20 miles now we're 20 miles away looking at this. What's creating the limit to the water 20 miles away?
And as I said, if there is the same inferior mirage above the water, it would be that.
Okay, great. So it's never Earth curve. Thank you.
That doesn't say anything.
Yes, it does. The limit of the water. The limit of the water
says everything, dude.
The limit of the water is always a refractive phenomenon. Whether or not
what you're really saying is
Effie
hold on, Data. Please hold on, Data. Please. I didn't hear you, Dogma. I didn't hear you.
But you seem to be saying that inferior mirages prove the Earth is flat.
No. This is my alternative explanation. This is my falsification that whenever you see it, hold on. This is my falsification that whenever you see a limit to the water at distances of 20 miles, 10 miles, or 5, it is never Earth curve.
So you're saying inferior mirages cannot happen on a globe?
Okay, that is a non sequitur.
Brilliant, Travis.
That is not what I claimed. My claim, listen very carefully. My claim is that when you have a limit to the water, in this picture, we can clearly see that there's an inferior mirage, and you've already conceded that the cause of the limit to the water is the inferior mirage. Now, we're just going to keep this picture and back up 20 miles, and we can still see an inferior mirage. What's creating the limit?
What you're telling me, there's always an inferior mirage.
No.
Okay, what about
listen.
the same photo without an inferior mirage?
Okay, Brandon, pull up one of the other ones, please.
Do you know what an omega sun is?
Okay, we're talking about these observations right here. Each of these, this has an inferior mirage, this has an inferior mirage, and this does not have an inferior mirage. They were all taken from the same location. Can you scroll to the middle again, please? Can you tell which one was shot? Zoom out a little bit, please, Brandon. Can you tell which one was shot with a different optical zoom? Now I'm gonna give you a little bit of an inside. I have the same setup in each of these photos. My camera is set up in the exact same physical location, so my distance hasn't changed and my height hasn't changed. I'm simply asking you, based on what you can see, which one is shot with a different optical zoom?
It would be hard to tell. If I'm going to make a guess, the building on the right photograph looks a little bit wider, so that one might have a different optical zoom. But
all right. They are all shot with the same optical zoom.
And your point is?
The horizon is in a different position in each of them. So here is my claim. No matter if you're looking over terrestrial distance or aquatic, the horizon is always the result of a refractive phenomenon, whether or not there's a mirage or not.
And how does that prove that we don't live on a globe?
It doesn't prove that we don't live on a globe. It proves that the horizon is not caused by the curve of the Earth.
Well, you just said that proves that we don't live on a globe.
No, you can have a fucking ball if you want. It's just not going to be the proportions that you're told that it is, so it's wrong.
He's pretty much saying the boat's
You're
not
making a lot of assumptions out of
disappearing
this.
over
All
a
you're
curve.
doing is showing me photographs and then saying this proves this.
No, what's my claim? What's
He's
my
not
claim?
assuming anything.
Yeah, I'm not assuming anything. I'm showing you
He
photos.
literally has not assumed a single thing.
Hey, Effie Dogman, do you have an issue with observational science?
And he even said he'll give you
Hold
the
on, let
ball.
Effie Dogman answer
Like,
that
he
question.
literally
Do you
said
have a
that.
problem with observational science?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Because that's what he's doing here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if the Earth is not a globe, and let's say you have a water horizon without land behind it, where is the water beyond the horizon?
It is behind the refraction phenomenon. If there is no mirage, then it is simply a refraction phenomenon. Okay, there is refraction there.
Would you agree that it is basically converged into a horizon line? So the water beyond the horizon is not above the horizon nor below the horizon, right?
All right. If you give me a moment, I'm going to pull up one of the photos that I showed the other day on the show. You might not have seen it, but give me just a second. I'm going to have to show you a different photo because it's going to be able to
Sounds
answer.
logical.
it's going to be able to answer your question. I just have to get a different one because these have land behind them. Okay, so just give me a moment, please. Okay, I'm gonna
Can you ask that
Brandon.
question again for me?
Who are you talking to?
What was you asking him?
Who are you talking to?
The one that asked you a question.
That's Fe Dogma. Okay, so Fe Dogma.
What was your question for him again?
Well, my question is, on a flat Earth, where would the water beyond the water horizon be on a flat Earth? Obviously, it would not be above the horizon. Obviously, it would not be below the horizon.
I have the ability to answer that question. Brandon, if you wouldn't mind, let me look to see which one. I think the first one that I showed you, which has the zoomed out, the first one that I sent you. Okay, can you pull that one up, please?
Can anyone else feel his cogs turning?
Just let it set. Just let it set.
So again.
Okay. So here we go. Hold on. Okay, listen, please. Listen. This is the city of New Orleans from my observation point, 28 miles away. Okay, I am in Maryville, Louisiana, at the Sunset Park. Shout out to Rakia Life for giving me this point of view to go shoot from. Okay, so that cityscape in the distance is the city of New Orleans. Okay,
you're not answering my question, though.
Okay, will you please be patient? Because this is how I'm going to answer your question. So we can see the cityscape. Now, to the left of the cityscape, it appears to be only open sky. To the right of the cityscape, it appears only to be open sky. So that meets your questions. What happens when there's nothing behind it? Where's the water? Correct?
No.
No?
If the Earth is flat, there's going to be thousands of miles of water beyond that horizon. Where is it?
Okay, I'm pretty sure that does. Okay.
Let me just simplify this. Would you agree that it should be converged into the horizon line?
This goes back to the thought. Hold on. No. Please, this is me. Please.
My question.
Well, I can answer.
Okay. No, James, please, pretty please. I'm not trying to give you word salad, Effie Dogma. Okay, this goes into the same example that you were given as you're looking over a chessboard. The angle at which the horizon is apparently rising as it goes into the distance, that convergence point where the apparent sky meets the apparent water is a very tight, acute angle. So you're going to lose every bit of information that's beyond that. That's not only the listen, that's not only the limit of your eye, that's also the result of the conditions of the medium through which you are looking. Brandon, if you would pull up the next photo, please.
And again, if the Earth is flat, there's going to be thousands of miles of land or water.
I'm going to show you something. No, not that one. Not that one. The one before that, please. That's the PA's.
Let me just say something real quick. It's not really answering the way you want, but let me just say something. So
James, bro, I'm sorry, bro. No, this is my turn. This is my time. Okay.
Give me one moment. I gotta go get some water from the kitchen.
I can answer it, dude. It's real simple.
You can wait your turn too, James.
James, just
he's
let
gone
Travis
right now.
finish. God.
So anyway,
maybe it would help to him understand if you drew it orthographically and drew the ground horizontal at the bottom and then an angled line.
I got to be quiet, and now you're
water
talking.
Actually,
Paige.
looks like in perspective.
Paige, you just begged me to be quiet.
That's because
I'm not trying to talk to the people you're talking to.
Right?
Okay?
She's just talking out loud to the panel. You want to address. You want to address Dogma. He was gone. He stepped away. There was no reason.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to say something while he was gone.
Why
so
would that be?
You could use it.
I don't need your help, James. Did I ask for you? Did I tag team you? Did I ask for you to white knight for me?
No.
No.
That's not at all, man. I just thought it was a good time to speak.
It wasn't.
It was quiet.
Okay.
And then after I was told to be quiet, everybody else started talking.
Please be quiet.
I gotta agree
I'm
with
back.
James. It was a good time to speak, but I get what you're saying, Travis. Is Daffy
Okay.
Dogma back yet?
Would have been good time for him to speak up, but I thought he wanted to actually ask
That's
the
what
other
I
guy
thought
questions. So
too.
the other guy
Yes.
had walked away,
That's what I
and I
thought
thought,
too.
well, he's not going to ask his question while the other guy's away. I
Right.
may as well.
Exactly. Both
You know,
Paige and
it's
I
just-
thought the
didn't want to
same
have a
thing.
discourse with Travis or the other guy. Yeah, I don't know what his problem is.
Okay.
I could have
so,
said what I wanted to say 3 times already. It was quick.
Well,
okay.
say,
The
say it now.
point is, James. The point is, James, that this is now the umpteenth time that we've had interactions, and you still don't understand that you should not speak when it's not your turn.
Well, wait a minute.
Okay.
I got to push back on you on that, Travis, because this whole fucking panel does that. I can't remember the last time I had an interaction with a baller where I didn't have 2 or 3 people try to jump in and step all over my conversation. If I stop everyone from stepping
fair enough.
on
Sorry, Brent.
somebody else's conversation with a baller or someone
guys, I
else's
think
like
I'm gonna
one-on-one
start talking
engagement,
right now,
I would
okay?
spend the
I got some things to
entire
say.
show doing that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So
All
here's
right.
my point. Let me just conclude here. I think we all need to do a better job of trying to, give the person who's engaging with someone in a line of questioning, a little space. Let them play it out. Trust each other that they're going to get somewhere. And then, if it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. But
Jeremy tonight, I did do that to Jeremy.
We're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
If not, afterwards we could take care of it. But at least get a.
But I'll
give
tell
it a
you
personal
what.
shot.
I'll tell you what, though. If Jeremy said, "Travis, shut up," I would shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Anyways,
Brandon.
I
agree,
am
too.
back
I'll
if
do
you
better.
want to
Okay,
continue.
great. Okay, great. So
that
now,
wasn't directed at any one person or all of us, including myself, because I do it sometimes too. I'm just making a point. That's all.
Heard, understood, acknowledged.
Cool.
Okay, so now, Effie Dogma. Now we are 28 miles away, and we have an inferior mirage. Can you see the inferior mirage?
I see it, and you still have not answered my question.
Okay, go ahead and ask it.
Where is the water or land on a flat Earth that is beyond that horizon?
It's behind the refractive phenomena.
So you would agree that would basically be converged into a line that continues beyond that.
Okay, if you look at the if you look at the bottom of the screen,
we are in agreement there.
If you look at
on a flat Earth.
Okay, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you see water. As you look up toward the middle of the screen, you are not looking at a 90-degree angle. You're looking over the x-axis. You're looking over depth.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, great. So you would continue to look over depth. Once you pass the horizon, it continues to go over and farther into the distance. The farthest building to the left has the more severe inferior mirage, correct? Well, actually not, because there's one little dot to the right of the center. You see that little dot to the right?
The inferior mirage would be pretty much constant all the way through in terms of what it's doing, wouldn't it?
Except for the height of the building. Except for the height of the building. Okay,
Well,
the height.
building, yeah, but the height of the building is not a factor of the mirage. That's the factor of the size.
I didn't say that it was. I didn't say that it was, although it does contribute to how the mirage presents the object behind it. Okay? So if you see that building to the very far left, it looks as though it's floating in the sky.
Yeah.
Okay? The sky, apparent sky, beneath that very left building is a mirage. It is not sky.
Yeah. Well, it's actually light from the sky that is being refracted by the mirage, but we see it below the building in this case.
Listen very carefully. The sky that is apparently below that building is a mirage.
I just agreed with that, but it is also.
I don't need you to break down the science of it. I don't need you to break down the science of it. I didn't ask you a question. Okay? So if you go to the very next building to the right, the sky mirage is more acute. The reason for that is because that building is taller than the one to the left.
So what is the point you're getting at here?
The point that I'm getting at is two things. Well, three. First, the limit to the water is created by the mirage, not by the curve of the Earth. Secondly, whatever is behind the mirage is still there physically. You just can't see it. Third, the farther distance beyond that is beyond and behind a phenomenon of refraction, which is obstructing your ability to see any farther or behind those buildings.
So that building on the far left, do you know how tall it is?
Nope.
How come?
So the tallest building in New Orleans, I'm glad you asked that. The tallest buildings in New Orleans, the tallest one is 697 feet. There's a 645, and then it drops down to 531 at 28 miles, 28 times 28. We'll just do a rough calculation here just to give people an idea. This doesn't take refraction into account and really doesn't mean that much at the end of the day. But it is 28 times 28 times 0.66 is 517 feet of hidden at that distance, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow that. But
okay,
but,
Brandon.
Let me ask this in a different way. We do see an inferior mirage there. Let's say that we were able to remove that inferior mirage. Are you saying that you would now see the shoreline of New Orleans there?
If you would like to go back to one of my panels, Brandon.
No. Just
no. I'm going to show you your answer.
Which panel?
Just with the one that says which one has different focal length. The panel. That's a single frame. The panel. Okay. So. Well, actually, you know what? No, go to the very first one I sent you. That's just got a double pane. Okay, because that one has one of the clearest shots.
Stick with the photograph that we're looking at.
This one is going to be a visual demonstration. Brandon, I'm so sorry. This one. Okay. On the right, we have a severe refraction phenomenon. On the left, we can see straight down to the shoreline. In fact, we can see the boat dock and the boat ramp. Now, the answer to your question is, if you could wipe away the mirage, that's exactly what you would see.
What you are ignoring is that this building is quite a bit smaller than those buildings in New Orleans.
It doesn't matter. This is 5 points.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't. You're ignoring.
Go back to the New Orleans photograph.
Fine, we'll play your game. Go to the very last photo, Brandon, that has the text on it with the yellow line across it, please.
So here's my point. What you are not doing is showing us how big these buildings are in real life and comparing it to the size of that mirage.
Very
I
good.
agree that mirage is hiding some of those buildings, but I know that mirage is not hiding all of the bottom of the building on the left.
Incorrect. That's absolutely incorrect.
Well, show me a photograph of these buildings in real size.
Would you like to? Okay, great. FE Dogma, fantastic. I have a GoFundMe right now where I am asking anyone to contribute to my ability to be free to make these kinds of observations, because I'm going to tell you, FE Dogma, I don't know what one day is going to present to me. I don't know, FE Dogma, if it's possible for me to see the other shoreline to New Orleans. I don't know. But guess what? if I go there for a week and I don't get you the data that you'd like, that's because the conditions weren't right. It could take me a year. Okay, that last picture that I just showed you with the two panels next to each other, I have never gotten as clear an image as the left one, and it was taken just 3 weeks ago. And I've been doing this for over 2 years. Okay, so the time. Just let that. Go ahead.
You are on the other side of Lake Pontchartrain, looking, I would believe, south to New Orleans, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What I'll do, I don't think, I'll have to do it next week because I won't be able to be here tomorrow or the weekend. But I'll show you what my point is, and I'll use
I think I understand your point. My rebuttal to that point is that the refraction is not going to allow you to do a blink test on this. You cannot blink test these.
Why not? Why not?
Because the refraction is going to fuck up your scale.
All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's 8 o'clock. I got some pizza getting cold. I'm going to go off and eat that. Don't forget this Saturday, 11 a.m. on this channel will be my debate with Fight the Flat Earth. So that should be interesting. He says he's going to take me up on some of the NASA bashing that I've done, which is fine. And I've got a couple of other topics that we're going to discuss too. Hopefully that will be a good debate. And we'll be back tomorrow as well. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for those who supported the channel through Streamlabs and Super Chat. Thank you to the mods. And thank you to my channel members. So shout out channel members. I really appreciate it. I'll try to say thank you more often here. And if I can get to it, I'll shout out the channel members. Yeah, it was a pretty good show tonight. I kind of lost my temper there for a minute with Ruhif, but I don't know. Sometimes it just gets to me. It seems like they're purposely not wanting to say a specific answer like he was doing. It just kind of got to me, but whatever. It happens. Let me say the channel members. Shout out to James Richard. Shout out P Mantis, Brian Leakey, Helvetica Bold, Logan's Run, Hated 1949, Earth Circus, Super Flurf, Gourdzilla 37, 787 Gen X. Thank you guys for being channel members. And thanks to the audience, those in chat, for the excellent engagement during the show. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good one. Adios.